hang out and party tonight. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one. It's the end of the year. It's our 7-year anniversary retrospective here at the Whatnauts. 7 years ago, I created the Whatnauts. I had no idea we would make it this long. And here we are. Still doing it. It's amazing. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you?
Well, I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here, Kyle. This is a wholly unique retrospective, and that it's just you and me this year.
Yep. Just you and me. Man, we've had some ups and downs this year. I think it's been a good one. Sam is in the chat and says that 4 score is 80 years. I don't know these things. I don't. 7 years ago, I created the Whatnauts, not 87 years ago, but it feels like it's been a long time. It feels like I've been doing this forever. It feels like
this is quite a chunk of your life.
Yeah. What about you, Melissa? Because you've now been on here a handful of years. So
yeah,
does this still feel relatively new? Does this still, or you're like, I have my my groove? What are you feeling?
I feel like I have a groove. I don't know. Do I feel ungrooved to you?
No, you feel well
okay,
grooved.
All right. Good. I better. Yeah. Come April, I think I have been doing this 5 years.
Kind of wild, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's fun. It's a real cornerstone of my life. I'm worried I mention it too much when I'm on first dates. But it's such a framework and a structure and the way through which I see anything. Like some guy will ask me, have you seen this show? I'm like, I saw season 1 and then I stopped, but I wanted to keep going, but I had to switch to something else.
I pitched
it to Kyle and he didn't pick it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so if I feel Kyle like I've picked it, I would have, and we could talk. And
exactly.
This date would go well.
You're what's standing in the way of me having seen Schitt's Creek. Like I pitched it once and you didn't pick it, and I've never circled back to it in my own personal time.
Which is really funny because I've now watched the entirety of that show in my own personal time. Good stuff. Well, like I said, we are here to hang out and celebrate and party since it is our 7th anniversary here at the Whatnauts. So I'm going to be eating some pizza. I have some whiskey with me, some proper
hold on.
12.
You're not just drinking from like a straight bottle of whiskey. You poured Mountain Dew or something in there, right?
No, I will. I mean, I have a chaser of ginger ale.
Okay.
But there's only like that much left in the bottle, like an inch and a half.
That seems like a lot.
Handful of shots if I want them, and I do have my handy dandy shot glass here with I'm not sure if you can see it's blurry on screen, but it's a shot glass with titties. It's great.
Is there any other theme to it? Like, does it say Cancun on the back?
No. It has my my initials on it. So the story with this is that when I still lived in Richmond, my roommates had a shot glass with titties on it. And eventually it just became the thing to give me that one. Like, Kyle gets the titties, he gets this one, there you go. And that's just what they kept doing every single time. So when I moved out here to Oklahoma, my girlfriend was like, well, hey, we kind of need to keep that tradition alive. Like, let me get you a new shot glass with titties on it. And so, yeah, I have a shot glass with titties on it. It's great.
She is the best gift giver. From everything you've ever told me, I think she's number one in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I have a, can't say it on screen, but a Whatnauts like neon sign over here. I have a Gundam neon sign back here. All of that stuff. She is a fantastic gift giver. But yeah, I particularly like my shot glass. It's great, and it has my initials on it. Which is fantastic. Good stuff. Melissa, you just got back from seeing John Wick 4, right? Or you watched it with your dad, right? Is that the one you saw? Which one did you go see?
John Wick 4 comes out in theaters this summer.
Oh,
so no.
Shows you how much I know.
I've been watching through the series with my dad, all 3 of them, and today we finally finished the 3rd one.
Mm-hmm.
We have to watch them while mom isn't there, because these are not mom-friendly movies.
I gotcha.
So that's why we had to like fit it into this weird time slot. But I've seen them all now, and I am ready for the first episode of the review show in 2023. Yeah. It is our holiday tradition to spend our winter break watching an entire movie franchise. So we're going to start next year with all of the John Wicks. Just like how we started this year with all the Matrixes.
Yeah.
Every Matrixy.
That is going to be fun. Yeah, I have yet to see any of the John Wicks. So, and it's like, I know it's one that I would like. I just never went to go see that first one and then just kind of fell behind. It was just like, oh, well, one day I'll get there. It's on my list. But that's cool. Well, how was that?
They're fun. They're so impressive. Like I would watch these action scenes and then I would kind of tune out and just listen to the action scenes. Mm-hmm. Like we've watched my dad owns all of these on Blu-rays. Then we go and we watch the special features, like all of the training they go through for these action scenes in so many different disciplines, everything from like knife fighting to sharpshooting to martial arts to motorcycle riding, all of this stuff. So I tuned out the visuals for a second and I just listened to like every punch and every gunshot. I'm like, the sound team works so hard on these movies. These movies have got like 3 times as many sounds as any other movie, probably.
That's wild. Good stuff.
You're going to enjoy them. There's many familiar faces.
Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new year, all the stuff we'll do in the review show. I guess just to give everyone a heads up of what we're going to be doing here while we party and all that good stuff. We have some award or some superlatives to hand out. I like to call them awards, but they're not truly awards, really. But we'll be looking back on things we've done on all of our podcasts and talking about that, looking at some stats, some behind the scenes stats. I always like to do some of that stuff. And how do you feel about doing a reaction to either the new Oppenheimer trailer or the Barbie trailer? Because
we've never done that as part of the end of the year retrospective, and I think that's a fun addition to include these pocket reactor cores.
Yeah,
I did see the Barbie trailer ahead of Avatar 2, The Wet Guy, but I did not get Oppenheimer. That was not included in my showing.
Interesting. So you've seen Avatar 2?
Yes,
Melissa. We have a segment to run immediately. This is our Yankee Goes to Hollywood segment. Relax. I still need to fix that one, and I will fix it for the new year, I promise.
Thank you.
It's on my to-do list. So, Melissa, without spoiling Avatar 2, what does Avatar The Way of Water smell like if it was a candle?
It's difficult to imagine the sense of a foreign planet. I don't know the flora and fauna of Pandora. I don't know if they smell like plants we have here on Earth, but it's definitely, this is a wet movie. This is probably a salty movie. I don't know if the water they're in is salt water, but you can imagine it might be.
I would kind of assume it would be.
Yeah, I'd say it definitely has that sort of ocean spray, like salty smell to it. It smells like that. It smells like like sort of a woodsy smell, like a sandalwood or a bamboo or something.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe smells a little bit like paint.
A seaside bamboo forest covered in paint. Interesting.
Light amounts of paint.
Yeah.
A couple stripes of paint.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. So I was not planning on seeing Avatar 2. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the first one. It was kind of whatever. I feel like I had seen that story before in Ferngully and Pocahontas and stuff like that. It is Ignacio. Ignacio is joining us here.
Everybody. Hey.
Howdy. How's it going?
Ignacio, have you seen the new Avatar movie?
You mean the 3 hour and 12-minute experience that James Cameron put on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Those sure were 3 hours and 12 minutes, I think.
It's quite a chunk. I'd been curious about it, and the deciding factor in me going to see it opening night was that my roommate said she wanted to have a boy over. And I'm like, I'll get out of your hair. Very conveniently, there is something I can go do for 4 hours right now.
Yeah, that works.
By the way, Kyle, do you want me to turn on my camera?
Yes, please, if you can, yeah.
Yeah? No, I didn't do it because I know it doesn't always work out with the setup.
Oh, yeah, it screwed it up when you jumped on, but I already fixed it, so it's all good. It's all good. Welcome, Ignacio. How are you?
Doing good. It's very, 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 very hot over here.
Yeah,
so I have two fans.
Two fans already on, man.
Next to me.
Good God. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. Wasn't expecting you, but always glad to have you on.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to jump on. That's why I never said anything about it.
Gotcha.
I meant to do it.
Gotcha. Well, I have a shot that I'm about to take. So cheers to 7 years of the Whatnauts. Thanks, Ignacio, for joining us. Thank you to Melissa for always being a trooper. Here's to 2023. There we go. Bam. Woo. Good stuff. So you guys have then both seen Avatar 2. I was not planning on watching this. I have now heard great things about this. Especially the last 45 minutes of the show. Mick, who helped us start Crossplay, was like, the last 45 minutes of this has convinced me to now go see all of the other sequels after this. Is that what you guys thought? Ignacio, you're kind of like, maybe not.
Kyle, did you watch the first one?
I did.
Avatar 1?
Not a huge fan.
What do you think about that one?
Not a huge fan.
You probably will not be a huge fan of this one for the same reasons. So James Cameron, I'll props to him. He did a great job creating a world that's believable, that looks believable, that has its rules, its people, everything. It's a spectacle. Shit looks amazing. CG hasn't never looked this good. That's most of what the movie is there for.
Okay.
It is mostly there to show you the world, to show you the people, what they do, how they adapt. Plot-wise, not very good.
I saw the first Avatar for the first time this year, just like 10 weeks ago when they re-released it to theaters in 3D. Like, I completely missed it when it first came out, and I'm like, here's my chance to experience what everybody else experienced in 2009. And I thought, this is really pretty. This is technically impressive. Overall, I feel fine about it. But then I went to see the new one, and I was so surprised at how much I really did enjoy the new one. The new one was like, yes, I was more emotionally connected to it. I did find all of those kids endearing. I was more enthralled by the story instead of just like, I don't care what they're doing. Look at all those cool trees. I was on all levels with this film this time.
Interesting. Yeah.
I people seem to like it.
Keep seeing people being like, "Hey guys, it's actually good. Like, go check it out." But yeah, I still don't know if I want to go see. I mean, I do, but I don't. Like, if I can somehow not spend money to go see it, that's what I would prefer. And in fact, what's the I keep forgetting the name. What's the holiday movie, the Santa one that stars the dude
Violent
from
Night?
Violent Night. I would much rather go see that. That looks so awesome.
I will say that I saw Avatar on like one of the biggest screens in my city, like not IMAX but very large, full Dolby Atmos, full 3D.
That's awesome. Yeah,
it is truly immersive. It's like you are paying to go on a vacation to be underwater for a while. I found it truly relaxing. The Yankee Goes to Hollywood thing says relax. This is the one time that I watched the movie. And I'm like, yes, that was it. I felt that. Like there are like tense action scenes, but sometimes you're just like swimming with a whale.
That's cool.
Yeah, I also went to watch it on a giant screen. It was 3D, and the 3D effects look great. It isn't about it popping out, but it is more about it having depth and looking like there is something there. And so the movie to me is closer to a 3-hour Disney World Universal experience, you know, those rides. Yeah, it's like the 4D rides, but take away the 4D and the movements, and it's just a sad screen, but with 3D. It is that. It is meant to put you on Pandora. It is meant to do that. And just like a ride with some sort of story in there, there isn't much of a story, but you are not there for the story. You are there for the experience. But the thing is, it is a 3-hour long experience.
Yeah.
So
that's quite long. But that is the thing, though. Like that, I think if you are going to go see this, I think the best way to see it is on the biggest screen possible.
Yeah.
Biggest screen in 3D.
Like, make it an experience. And I think that is the thing that'll make it worth going to see.
Right. Like, I don't think you need to you don't have to rush out and see it tomorrow, but you paying the money to go see it in the theater now is going to give you a better experience than if you wait to stream it on Disney Plus in 6 months. Like that money is worth it. I assure you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know when I will go check it out. Maybe sometime over the break. Who knows? But Violent Night is first up on my list. Good stuff. Ignacio, what else have you been up to recently?
The usual. I'm still with school. I technically already finished my, what do you call it? Pre-grad. I technically finished pre-grad, but I'm also doing a master's course. So cool. The reason that I say technically I did it is because of the way that I did my school let me have the final year of my pre-grad be my first year of my master's because of the whole thing, and some the school giving me certain opportunities to do this. One of the caveats is that they will withhold giving me a title until I finish my master's. So I have finished my pre-grad, but I still don't have my title.
I gotcha. Interesting.
So I'm doing that, doing research. The other day, I finally managed to accomplish one thing that I've been trying to do for a couple of months. So that was very exciting. But other than that, pretty much usual.
Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, hey, while we have you, let's talk about some crossplay stuff. Now that we can have you, like we can talk Game Awards, we can talk Game of the Year, all that good stuff. So I unfortunately, Crossplay is no longer a podcast that we are doing, which is a bummer because I really, really enjoyed that one, but I just had too much on my plate. And so we had to fold that one down. But Ignacio, Game Awards. What did you think of the Game Awards here?
Oh man, it was very good. Jeff has always brought a very good show, and I think that more than any other year, it was way more things that you are interested on, rather than years past where this is here because Jeff needed to pay the bills and do a lot of stuff. So to me, it was a very more consistent show. Still, even though it was more consistent, it did lack for me the one standout thing, that one thing to pop off for. But they showed a lot of very good things, and Elden Ring winning Game of the Year, to me, it was a toss-up between Elden Ring and God of War. So it could have gone either way for me. I thought it was going to be God of War for the Game Awards, but it won. Elden Ring won, and we all know how that went at the end. No shenanigans happened, right?
Yeah, no shenanigans at all.
Pretty good. All smooth sailing.
So Melissa, I know you don't watch the Game Awards and stuff like that.
I don't even watch a game,
right?
Let alone an award about it.
Exactly. So we watched the Game Awards, and right at the start, they give the award out to Best Performance, which went to Christopher Judge, who played Kratos in God of War, and he had his speech.
But before that, who presented the award?
So yeah, it was Al Pacino that presented the award, which is fucking wild. But
what's his favorite video game? Did he tell you?
That's the thing. He was like, I know nothing about video games, but I watch my kids play. And in the past, the Game Awards have had a history of inviting celebrities onto the show that just, it's very obvious they don't want to be there. Especially in the earlier years when they were still on Spike TV. But in more recent years, they've at least gotten celebrities that want to be there or are excited to be there, which is nice. And I think Al Pacino did a pretty good job. He was fine. It was still just like, whoa, oh my God, that's Al Pacino at the Game Awards. What in the world? I mean, this is wild.
Ignoring the whole teleprompter thing, overall, at the end, it was fine.
Yeah. But then Chris Judge, who Melissa, you might recognize from Stargate SG-1, right? That guy? Yeah. Him. He's the one, he won Best Performance for Kratos. His thank you speech, 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
Let him have it.
It went on forever. It's not supposed to be that long. They tried to play him off and turn the music up to
it only helped him.
It didn't really work. But from what I do, from what I heard is that a couple presenters that were up shortly after that were a little bit late, so they were kind of okay with letting him get that 12-minute long thing to take up some space. But Melissa, you would be interested. I almost mentioned this on the Captain's Log this past week. Jeff Keighley has this fascination with always including one of the Muppets.
Yep.
At the Game Awards. They show up, they're there, maybe they're one of the presenters. It's just kind of weird. Why are they there? It makes, because it's not necessarily a family friendly show, considering some of the trailers that are showing there. This year it was Animal that was there. He had a blast. I actually kind of like it. it's just weird enough that it's just like, this is bizarre. I like this. But it's still just like, why? Who knows? But that was good. And then at the end of the show, real big security snafu. Some random kid just walked up on stage as they were presenting as they announced who won the game of the year.
Yeah,
as
they announced a winner. They were going up the stage,
and this kid just walks up from the back on stage with them all. He's clapping. He looks like he's supposed to be a part of the team. Then just like, oh, that guy's standing awkwardly in the background. He's not with them. What's happening here?
Yeah, the whole time I was wondering, wait, whose kid is he? Why is he there?
Did he work on the game?
Can I get an age on the kid? Who is kid? What age is kid?
So apparently he's like 15 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Like
15-year-old.
That's a kid.
And he's quiet. He's
he's blending in,
fairly respectful to let the developers like say their thank you and do their thing. And after they're done and the Game Awards are like trying to wrap up and move on, he steps on the mic and is like, "Hey guys, I'm Martin. I would like to dedicate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton." And just and from what I understand, everyone who was at the event really didn't understand or know what was going on or what exactly he said. But once he said that, security came and like rushed everyone off stage. It was a whole snafu.
Hey, shout out to the person that was controlling the camera. He didn't cut away. He didn't do anything. He just, hey, something's happening. Let's show it.
Yeah. So just like wild stuff. I'm just like, good God, this is a security thing that like everyone needs to be concerned about. This is awful. What if he like was intending to do some violence or something like that? Like that's it's kind of scary. But from what I understand, it turns out he's just a like 15-year-old shit poster that thought it would be funny to like go up on stage and say some nonsense.
He's great. He did it well. He played it well. If you can actually see how it happens, so the way the place where people are seated, there are rows where you can walk in, and then as you get to the stage, there are walkways where you can go. So the Elden Ring team were like at the front, so they were walking towards the center of the stage to get to go on the stage, and then the kid was going down down the aisle. Yeah, and you can see him incorporated into the team very well. And then when you see they cut the camera to them going out to the stage, climbing the steps, and you see the kid like helping one of the guys go up. Like, yeah, go up, go.
Yeah,
it's wild. And then the kid was just blending in. He was aware of where the cameras were, so he kept himself where the cameras were.
Yeah,
it's wild.
People were confused about what he said. They thought it was hateful. They thought it was anti-Semitic, stuff like that. I don't know how true it is. I thought I heard that he was on
he was Jewish.
InfoWars at some point. Yeah. But yeah, then it was he got interviewed finally by Jason Schreier, who's a big reporter in the video game world, who kind of figured out what was what. Apparently he does understand some Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because apparently Jason just said something in Hebrew and he understood it.
He reacted, and then after that acted like he didn't understand it. There's still some like weird stuff going on, but it just ended up he was just some little shit poster kid.
But then if you went on Twitter, when that happened, you went to the trending. Bill Clinton was trending.
Bill Clinton was trending. The whole thing was wild. All that good stuff. But moving on, Ignacio, what is your game of the year?
Ooh, man. So I already said it that for me it is a toss-up between Elden Ring and God of War. And I think at the end of the day, I gotta go with my same mindset for the game of the year of 2018 when it was God of War and Spider-Man, where to me, Elden Ring was the game that I enjoyed the most, but I would give God of War my game of the year.
I gotcha.
Same as in 2018, Spider-Man was the game that I enjoyed the most, but God of War 2018 was the game that I would give my game of the year.
I gotcha. Sam is in the chat and clarifying that the kid gave interviews to several outlets and gave wildly different answers every time.
Yeah.
So
it was a kid just trolling.
I figured the Game Awards would be a toss-up between Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. I think right now I have God of War as my number 2.
Oh.
Believe it or not, I actually still have Sifu as my game of the year.
Wow.
I really, really enjoyed that one. I know that I got stuck on it early on and kind of had to put it down. But you know what? I did. I ended up switching them. So my game of the year right now is God of War Ragnarok, and Sifu is number 2. But man, Sifu, I enjoyed that game so much. It was so fun. Once they had those accessibility features in there and had the difficulty options.
Yeah, didn't
so
you
much
have
fun.
Didn't you give up at some point?
Yes. Initially, yes. Because that game is so difficult.
I forgot about that. You forgot. I forgot about that. You gave up, and I kept telling you and Gino to go back to it because the game is great.
And I did. Yeah, I had said that, yes, I absolutely intend to go back because they had put that roadmap out there of like, hey, the first big major update is going to be, we're going to add difficulty levels, all that stuff. And I went back in there and played it on easy and I loved it. Brilliant game. I think it is fantastic. And I know it's really no one's game of the year except mine, right? But
it should have won some award.
It should not have been in best fighting game. That was a weird one.
It probably was one of those things where you need 5. I think it was 5. You need 5 games, and maybe there were 4 fighting games.
Yeah.
Technically, I think that 3 of them only deserve to be there because it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the fighting game. I think it was a re-release or a port or something like that.
I gotcha.
Yeah. For me, Sifu is either my number 3 or 4. I haven't updated my list in a while, but I recently finished Sonic, and I have that one pretty high. I don't know where it would go.
Interesting.
But Sonic for me is pretty high.
Okay. Good stuff. Ignacio, do you have any kind of final remarks about crossplay that you want to say? Looking back on the year, what did you have fun with? Stuff like that.
I like that we managed to get into a groove of things. We had finally settled into a podcast.
Yeah.
Because the first year we had the first year we did like 2 months, I think, at the end of the year. Then the next year it was the whole Mick leaving and us being just you and me, and then Gino and Alan eventually joining. And I think this year was the first year that it was, for the most part, the 4 of us. So to me, it was finally something that, okay, we know what it is. It is a podcast. It is an established thing.
For sure. Yeah, man, I had a blast with that show. I'm currently playing through Pentiment. to see what that one's about. I like it enough. It's a lot of reading. I don't know if I would really score it high up on my list or anything, but it's good. It's fun. But yeah, I love video games. I love talking about them, and to be able to do a podcast, at least for a short amount of time, with you, Ignacio, was fantastic. You've been there since day one. You are the real OG on Crossplay. But yeah, it was a blast. A huge thank you to Mick to help us starting it. Mick Abrahamson, aka the nanobiologist. I think he's going by Nanosecond Gaming on most social things there. Yeah,
who knows?
A huge shout out to Alan and Gino. We brought them on shortly after Mick left the podcast. I was really, really excited to bring Alan on the show when I was kind of doing my like quote unquote interview process with everyone to see who wanted to join the show. There were some people that reached out to us, or we reached out to them, that never responded, or they responded and they just maybe didn't seem like a great fit. And one of the things that I did in that process is I just kind of started up a side conversation with these people to see like, hey, could you hold a conversation about video games or something else? And Alan was the one who was by far the most excited to keep that conversation going. And so I was like, him. He's the one. I want him on the show. And then Gino, I think I saw a video that him and Matt Batson put together, if I'm not mistaken. It was some like Fall Guys video where he's like trying to go through the door, but the door isn't working, and so now he's scared to go through doors because he's not sure if it's a fake one or not. All that good stuff. And I was like, oh, this guy is hilarious. This guy like absolutely needs to be on the show. And yeah, we had a blast. It sucks that we had to fold that show. But Ignacio, you are always welcome back on the Captain's Log on our anniversary retrospectives. If you want to hop on the review show every so often, you are more than welcome to join us. We would love to have you on as much stuff as we can get you. So hopefully we'll see plenty more of you in 2023.
Before you move on, you don't need to address it, but did you check the thing that I messaged you on Discord?
If it was not like today. Oh,
no, today.
Let me see.
Right now, during the podcast. We can talk about it later. I was wondering if you saw it.
I can work down if that's possible. Okay. Yeah, we've been trying to do kind of a last final hurrah for Crossplay. It hasn't really worked out. It doesn't seem like there was much steam behind it. It's not completely dead, so maybe be on the lookout for something in 2023. That's just a last hurrah.
A chance that we do something.
I would still like to do some last hurrah. But I'm glad that you got to hop in here on the retrospective. That's fun. That's a good one. Good one indeed. Melissa.
Yeah.
Been awfully quiet with your vast knowledge of video games.
I wouldn't even tell you your game of the year.
No, you guys can talk video games. I can sit here and make my little charcuterie combos.
Right.
I have like soft cheeses, hard cheeses, dried fruits, crackers of different shapes. I have it all.
I gotcha. Ignacio, would you like to join us for a reaction to a trailer, to a movie trailer, either Oppenheimer or Barbie?
I didn't know there was an Oppenheimer. Right, for Avatar.
It was out for Avatar, and then they released it publicly like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
For Oppenheimer.
Because my screening of Avatar didn't have it.
I got you. Yeah, Melissa said the same thing, that she didn't see the Oppenheimer one.
I watched it on Wednesday, so I figured that it might have been because of that.
Gotcha. They
but for Melissa, I don't know.
Didn't want it in the early ones. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Oppenheimer official trailer. I see the one from Universal Pictures.
Yes, I have this up. I have the Barbie one up. This isn't an either or. We are talking about both of these.
Okay.
Both of these movies are releasing on the same day, which is incredible. I intend to see both on the same day.
Double feature.
I'm going to do an outfit change in between.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me know when you guys have this pulled up on.
Okay, you have them both pulled up.
Cool. Let's start with Oppenheimer. Let's do that one first. I have that one pulled up. I'm gonna pull this up on screen here so everyone can see it. Yes, Ignacio.
Can you send me a link?
Can I send you a link? Yes, I can. Give me 1 second.
Couldn't you guys hear me before?
I did not hear you ask for a link, but I am going to post that.
That's weird. I said it multiple times.
Weird. I'm going to post it in the Reactor Corps Discord thing here. Oop. There you go. So you can have that guy. And I'm going to pull this up on screen. Oh, that is all messed up. Good God. That didn't work out. How are we going to do this then? How about I do full screen for the trailer and you guys can hear our... Well, no, because that's going to do that. Ooh, we might have some technical difficulties on how to do this. Wait, if I go to this, do I have... Oh, you know what? Hold on. I can do it this way. Give me a sec to set everything up, do all that stuff. Bam and bam. There we are. Okay, perfect. Oh, because I didn't hit that one button. All right. Let's see. Let me do this guy. Let me pull this up here. I'm gonna do a mini intro so I can clip this out and put it on YouTube. Welcome back to the Whatnauts Reactor Corps. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson, as well as Ignacio Rojas.
Hello.
How are you guys? Are you guys doing well? Sunday night?
Well,
yes.
Good stuff. We have a couple trailers to react to that I'm excited for. 2 trailers that we're going to be reacting to. We'll split these up into separate videos. But first up, Oppenheimer. That's what we're going to be reacting to right here, right now. Melissa, what's your excitement level for Oppenheimer? What are you thinking?
I'm pretty excited for this one. I enjoy Christopher Nolan's work as a whole. I've got some holes in it. Haven't gotten to Interstellar yet. It looks sad, but I've seen many of the others. I enjoy his dedication to the craft. I enjoy seeing some returning faces. I enjoy when he gets to work with new faces. And I'm intrigued by this one, by him working with a real historical figure as the protagonist of the movie.
Yes.
Like when Nikola Tesla's in The Prestige, but he's a minor supporting
technically
character.
He's there,
Yeah. I'm interested in this one too because I'm technically, I guess, used to his more like action-oriented movies, and so I'm curious to see if there will be action scenes in this. They very, very well could do World War II style action stuff, but is that really the life of Oppenheimer? I don't know. So
we have yet to see. All we've seen in the teaser trailer is that he like walks around and he puts a hat over his head. Like, don't look at me. I'm ashamed of that bomb I made.
Ignacio, where are you with this? Is this one that's on your radar?
Yes and no. It is a movie that I forget that it is coming. I am excited to see it, but whenever it comes, it comes. It's not a movie that I'm just waiting for. Tenet, I didn't vibe with that much, but with his other movies, I think for the most part, I have. So I'm curious to see what he does with this movie, especially since it is based on historical events.
Good stuff, indeed. Well, I am pulling up the trailer on screen right now so you guys can all see this. We will do our typical countdown of 3, 2, 1, and then on play, we will hit the play button. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Following preview has been approved for appropriate audiences.
That stayed around for a long time. That was a long appropriate audiences notice.
Though I would rather have that than the Oppenheimer trailer starts now.
Yep. Fun fact, we do not have those things here.
Yeah.
Those that are before.
Our imaginings horrify us. They won't fear it.
Cillian Murphy's always a fantastic actor. I enjoy him a lot.
Man, now I have to deal with a big bowl of marbles?
And they won't understand.
I want to say there was about 72 in that bowl.
You guess the number of marbles in the bowl, you can win the Oppenheimer sweepstakes.
Exactly. I'm liking these visuals here. The explosions and fire and that stuff. That's really interesting. And that one flash we got to black and white is neat.
But we have no choice.
Gotta have that score. The typical Christopher Nolan score.
I feel like this is going to be either like a really, really, really tense movie or just have this feeling of dread.
Yeah.
On it the entire time. The big red button. 721, 23, shot with IMAX.
Shot with IMAX film cameras.
There you go. What did you guys think?
It looks good. It's difficult to react to because we know what happens. We know that a bomb goes off and he's sad about the bomb. We're all sad about the bomb. So it's hard to guess at what's the mystery? What clues will we unravel?
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, we're not exactly sure what the angle and tone of the movie is going to be, but looks good. I'm in. I enjoy Mr. Murphy and his work. I'm excited.
I mean, maybe this is how we learn to love the bomb, right? What's
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that they are going with that angle.
Not at all.
I like the like you said, Kyle, like the dread that the trailer is giving us because of the subject.
Mm-hmm.
You have to imagine how they felt while and after creating the atom bomb. They didn't know what was going to happen. They had an idea what was going to happen, but if you didn't know, they thought that there was a possibility that they could just ignite the atmosphere and basically kill us all with the atom bomb. And so I think that the movie will implement those elements about we are creating science, but are we going too far, and what are the ramifications, and just seeing the sheer power that you are creating.
Yeah.
The trailer is giving me vibes that they are going to explore those aspects of what it meant to create the atom bomb.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen Dunkirk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of getting Dunkirk vibes with this, not in the sense of the action, right? But there was that, it has these feelings of it's hopeless. It's we are doomed. We're all stuck here at this one spot, right? And at the end of Dunkirk, there is kind of a triumph to that story.
They got him home.
I don't think there will be in this one. I just feel like this movie's gonna be a bummer. Like it's gonna be depressing.
Yeah, well, we don't know all the details of Oppenheimer's life. Maybe he was sad about bomb, but also he was happy about his kids or something. Like, I mean, there may be some element of positivity throughout the film. There may be some cute
I don't know
kids
how
or
much
something.
positivity.
I hope so, though. I hope so. But we shall see. That's out, late next summer? This upcoming summer
that
here?
is July 21st.
Yeah, July 21st.
Right now, same release day as Barbie.
Yes, which is the trailer that we're going to be reacting to
inventions that
next.
changed the world.
Two explosive inventions that good God. Yeah, I'm interested. I know Nolan from his more action-oriented work. He has a cerebral aspect to his work as well, which I would be interested in seeing how he mixes that into this film here. But besides that, I don't know if I have much else to say on this one.
Yeah. It was more of a mood, get you in the mood or show you the mood of the movie rather than what it is gonna be about.
Yeah.
So there isn't too much to talk about it.
For sure.
Other than it's probably gonna be a heavy movie.
Indeed. Well, that is about it for our reaction to Oppenheimer. Where can everyone find you all on social medias? Melissa, we'll start with you.
You can follow me at Wilkywit, WILKYWIT, and listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities.
There you go. And Ignacio, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at IgnacioRojasB. That's IGNACIOROJASB.
There you go. You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and co-host and Hive and all that good stuff. If you guys would like to follow us here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter and Hive and co-host as well. But yeah, that is it for our reaction to Oppenheimer. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
And we're still here, hanging out. Let's move over to the Barbie one here. Let me pull this guy up.
Yes.
Warner Brothers Pictures. Ignacio, would you like a link to this one as well?
Melissa,
I put one in there.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Melissa. Let me see if I can get this guy.
I thought you were producing the show. You should have been up with
Barbie is one of my oldest friends. I don't know if her and Kyle have ever met, but she and I are very well acquainted.
We've met.
Okay.
Not friends, though. Okay. Let me do that guy there, and let me do another little intro for this one. Welcome back to the Whatnauts Reactor Corps. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson.
Hello.
And Ignacio Rojas.
Hey.
We have the first teaser trailer to Barbie here that we are going to react to. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you two have both seen this because you went to go see Avatar: The Way of Water. You guys have, right?
I saw the trailer, but it didn't play for Avatar for me.
Okay.
They only played like Disney stuff, like Marvel for the most part.
Interesting.
I did
indeed.
see this in front of Avatar: The Wet Guy, and it was a powerful image to see on that big screen.
For sure. I have yet to watch this one. I am probably not super interested in this movie, to be honest, but I feel like I'm still gonna go see it just because of how wild I'm expecting this movie to be. I've seen some screenshots and oh my god, like this is gonna be a trip for sure. Ignacio, your relationship to Barbie. Let's start with you. What's your relationship to Barbie?
I know the lady. I've seen her in the past before. We've crossed paths, I'm sure.
Okay.
At some point.
Yeah.
There was the for the PS1. I had a demo disc that had the demo for a Barbie game, which, funny enough, it was a good demo.
I've actually heard good things about the Barbie game. That it was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
there's many a Barbie game.
Sure.
No, but this. I know it's a tangent, but this one was more of a Crash Bandicoot style from the back going through a corridor, but it was that, but like a platformer also. I remember hanging onto vines to avoid going down a pit.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
Wild. Melissa, your history with Barbie.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself with Barbie when I was a little girl. I think when I was 5 or 6 or 7, I got my very own dream house from my local Toys R Us, and I really treasured it. I like playing dress up. I did have a computer game that let you design fashions for Barbie. You could print out on like very, very thin like fabric paper, and then you had these little sticky like Velcro dots you would stick onto it so you could like make her a dress.
Interesting.
I liked dressing her up. I liked the role play options. I'd make little soap opera stories.
Of course.
I don't interact with her much I don't think I've really interacted with or touched a Barbie since I was like 9, but I look back on her fondly. She's got so many looks, so many careers. She can be anything you need her to be, but she's still always distinctly herself. And I like that.
Indeed. I have no relation to Barbie. I was more of an action figure kid myself. I still have some of my like Power Rangers and Street Sharks action figures back there. I have the Power Rangers ones in the box still, just kind of wild. But yeah, of course, I was more into boy things, right? But I'm interested in checking out this teaser trailer. So let me pull it up on screen here for everyone, and we can jump right in to the trailer. We will do our countdown from 3, and then on play, we will hit the play button. So 3, 2, 1, play.
Since the beginning of time, since the first little girl ever existed, there have been dolls.
Just a random shoe out in the middle of the rocks.
Very Pacific Rim.
Very everything everywhere all at once too, right? That rock scene.
Barbie is Monolith.
Oh, they're joeing the 2001 knockoff.
Yeah.
And this is Barbie's first outfit. This canonically is the beginning.
Oh, wow.
Really? Wow.
And they smashed.
Baby dolls no more.
What are they made out of? Clay?
Porcelain or clay.
Porcelain.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Oh,
City.
God. This is going to be so much.
Only in theaters, July 21st. See Oppenheimer, and then see this.
Exactly.
Or you can flip them around. If you want to go from Barbie into Oppenheimer, Godspeed to you.
Wow.
One of those will depress you. The other one will get you.
This man, this teaser trailer is actually pretty brilliant. It's great.
Yes.
It is Simu.
Yeah.
Yes, he's one of them.
Absolutely. Man, no, this whole thing is brilliant because that is what 2001 was doing, right? This like turn of the century, like technology is moving, and it goes from these like Neanderthal like monkeys into space age, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same kind of thing of these like porcelain dolls. And then now we have Barbie, the new technology in doll technology.
The new technology in living.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
This style of the movie is wild. If you see the first thing that we see from the movie, that is Barbie, like waving to the city, it's wild how the buildings look like they are actual sets. Actual toy sets.
Yeah.
They're there.
That's kind of wild. I love how bright and just how colorful this is. Looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good indeed. That was
I think Jen is like a biker boy.
He's the
Ken
bad
has
boy.
many looks. He has many styles. I have been hearing updates on the filming. This is a running joke on New Rock Stars, which is the channel we go to for all our Marvel breakdowns.
Yeah.
On their daily news show, The Break Room, they've also become very, very into Barbie, and they'll give you an update every time they hear anything about Barbie. And apparently there's one scene where Barbie and Ken are like out rollerblading, and somebody like slaps Barbie on the butt, and she turns around and punches him, and then Ken goes, "Ah!"
Right? Yeah,
Like Ken's the one with the
that.
girly scream. Like I look forward to seeing Ryan Gosling do that. That sounds like a good time.
Good casting too, right? Like,
Yeah.
man, yeah. No, it's wild how much this is like not on my radar, but still one. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to go see this, aren't I? Like, this is gonna be like, this is gonna be just as if not more of a spectacle than Avatar to the Way of the Water, right?
Sure.
I'm gonna have to go watch this. Oh man. Well, I think that's all I have to say on this. You guys have any final thoughts you want to add? All good?
No.
All done? All done?
good.
There we are.
Kyle, I sent you the gameplay of the game that I told you, because I know you were very curious about the game.
Okay. I'll look at that in just a bit here. Social media stuff. Melissa, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at Wilkywit, WILKYWIT, and listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities.
Ignacio.
They can find me on Twitter at Ignacio Rojasb. That's IGNACIOROJASB.
You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer, Twitter co-host and Hive. And if you guys would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter, co-host and Hive. So be sure to go like, share, subscribe. You guys know the deal with all of that. That has been our reaction to the Barbie teaser trailer. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
And we're still here, celebrating and having fun. Our Whatnauts 7-year anniversary. I'm going to do another shot.
Enjoy. Congratulations. Well, you do that. Let me read over some of the other trailers we've reacted to this year. We've really broadened our horizons with the stuff we're talking about. Do you have a playlist on our YouTube just for the trailer reactions?
No, I don't. It's all mixed in there with the Reactor Corps.
Okay, so we've done... Oh, can I find the beginning of the year? When was that?
Oh, I looked at this earlier. I don't remember off the top of my head. Beginning of the year must have been Yellow Jackets. I think that may have been the first thing we did.
Okay. So all the trailers we've reacted to this year. Nope, Multiverse of Madness, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Miss Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder, Obi-Wan Kenobi again, She-Hulk, Thor Love and Thunder again. Some of these are repeats. Andor.
Indeed,
you did one for Paper Girls, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Wakanda Forever, Glass Onion, National Treasure, Edge of History.
I still have yet to start that one.
Werewolf by Night. Me too. They're meaty episodes. They're like 50 minutes. This is a lot to take in.
Oh.
Secret Invasion. The Last of Us. 1899. Quantumania. We didn't do a formal reaction, but we just talked about some of our thoughts on the little teaser we got for Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Cocaine Bear, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Good stuff. Real quick before you continue, big shout out to the anonymous person that just gave Sam a tier 1 sub. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
The shot is for you, whoever you are. Cheers to you, anonymous person, you. Ooh, okay. Lots of good trailers.
Yeah.
That we got to.
This was a good year for trailers.
I think that was one of our goals this year, is to start to react to more than just Marvel stuff, which I think we got a good first step.
Yeah.
I still think it's predominantly Marvel and Disney stuff, right?
Yeah, but it's
also what we enjoy.
But like, yeah, that is authentic to us. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, that's what there are most of. There are a lot
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
Those trailers.
For sure. But yeah, even stuff like Cocaine Bear, didn't think we would be reacting to something like that.
What if Bear did cocaine?
Right? Yeah.
Come to the theater and see. In February.
The age-old question.
Exactly.
We all look up at the stars and wonder, what if a bear did cocaine?
Every young child has had a doll and has also wondered.
Right. These were Oppenheimer's two options. He's like, I can study nuclear fusion or I can give drugs to animals. Which is better?
There's an Oppenheimer level story behind the Cocaine Bear.
Man.
It's that dolphin guy.
So, Melissa, let me ask you this then. Do you have a favorite trailer that we've reacted to? Ignacio, you're more than welcome to chime in too. I know you've been on less Reactor Corps stuff, but you and I did some of the like Andor things like that. But for Melissa, favorite trailer that we reacted to this year?
This has been a very good year for Marvel's trailers. Of course, the Wakanda Forever trailer is, I don't know, as much as I did enjoy that movie, I don't think any one thing in the movie hits as hard as the trailer hits by itself. Maybe it's because we'd been waiting for it for so long. We were so uncertain about that movie, and it's such a cohesive, emotional little package, that trailer. Especially in the context of all of that stuff we got at Comic-Con. And now we were like, that would be the big event. And they're like, no. That's your amuse-bouche. We're going to end this thing with telling you about Secret Wars.
Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, my personal favorites, they're the deepest in my heart. I think that trailer it's got a really well-chosen song, a really interesting assortment of clips, a great variety of the tones and emotions you're going to see in that movie.
Sure.
But I would say that out of Marvel's trailers this year, I would call Quantumania the best one. I think that one hits pretty hard. I say that it's the best one because there's so many people out there who are like, I don't watch trailers. And I feel like everything in the Quantumania trailer, it sells you on the style, on the scale, on the emotion of what's happening, but I don't know if it really includes new information beyond like the couple sentences you heard about it after like Comic-Con or whatever. Like that's a trailer that is big on impact, but light enough on actual information that I felt comfortable recommending it to everybody. And even people who are like, I don't watch trailers. They spoil too much for me. I think that one really chose its footage well.
That's fair.
The one that stands out to me is the one for Multiverse of Madness, because if you remember, that one is the one that gives us the hint that Patrick Stewart is back as Professor X.
What a moment! You're right.
Yeah, good stuff. I think,
and of course we've got the just to throw one out for Disney Plus, that
go for it.
Real grindhouse look at Werewolf by Night. That was also
a great trailer.
A very important trailer.
Good stuff. Yeah. I have to give mine to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That trailer, that first teaser trailer that we got is just spectacular. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that even after seeing that movie and enjoying it, I still think that teaser trailer is the best thing to come out of that movie. It's so damn good.
It is a weird competition. Like that movie was very good. I don't think it's going to make like my top 10 of the year. But that trailer is one of the best trailers I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It's a field. It's an entirely different media. It's something you think about differently. but in that category, it is the tops.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good
and
stuff.
to talk about something outside of Marvel, I really liked the Nope trailer. That was a trailer I saw several times in theaters, and I was so excited every time to see the 10-second clip of a black man on a horse.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that was also a very good movie. I enjoyed that one a lot. Good stuff. Do you have, and like, so one of the things that I want to ask is goals for next year. I guess we can start with the Reactor Corps. Is there any kind of goals you have next year that include the Reactor Corps specifically? By chance? Like,
let's look at I have to get the link to our like Rotten Tomatoes game again. Let's look at what we think is going to be on the Reactor Corps docket for next year. So in terms of movies, we're gonna have let me find it.
Let's see if I can pull this up here.
Quantumania, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Kyle, you and I might talk about John Wick 4 since we're covering the first 3 John Wicks on the review show. We'll see how we feel.
Sure, yeah.
Guardians Volume 3, Into the Spider-Verse 2, The Flash, if such a thing is to happen. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, we're both very excited for.
Did you by chance see that update for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning that Tom Cruise posted a couple hours ago? It's him in the middle of some stunt, some shot that they're trying to get. He's in a plane or a helicopter or something like way above. I guess it would be a plane, not a helicopter. He posted it on Twitter, but it's just like, we're here shooting Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2. Thank you all so much for the support for Top Gun Maverick. It was incredible, all that stuff. And then like jumps out of the plane and the camera like jumps out with him there. And he's still...
I can confirm it's a helicopter.
Helicopter, interesting. That was very high up. But yeah, he jumps out.
It isn't that high.
It's
Ignacio's been higher.
I'm looking at it. It isn't that high.
It's pretty high up there.
It isn't that high.
He's skydiving all the way down and is like, well, all right, I guess we have to start filming this shot, so I'll see you later, and then like continues to like barrel roll down the sky.
So like it's just, hey, these 2 movies, we are still working on them, just as we said. Thanks for going to see my other movie where I did a plane. Watch me do another plane real quick. Yeah. Tune in next summer for plane. Basically. And summer after that, additional plane.
Good stuff, though. Continue, Melissa.
And then in terms of TV, Yellow Jacket Season 2, over on the MCU front. We're going to have Secret Invasion, Loki Season 2. Echo was delayed. Echo might be at the end of the year. Coven of Chaos might be towards the end of the year. We might be getting Season 2 of What If. I don't know when Season 2 of Peacemaker is slated. I don't know when we're getting that the Batman series on HBO Max with Penguin and friends.
Right. Who knows?
So we have these things happening. These things are on the docket.
I feel like we have a good mix next year. I think we set ourselves up this year to do well next year in terms of variety, if that makes sense. So, good stuff there. I personally don't have any, like, goals for next year for the Reactor Corps, except for just, continue down that road there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. I keep hitting everything here. Let me bring this stuff back up. Ignacio, let me throw it to you real quick. Goals for next year. Are you a like New Year's resolution person? Do you have things that you want to work on, or as I mean, so you've gotten the like podcasting taste of stuff. Do you have stuff that you want to do in terms of content creation next year?
Nah, I doubt it. We talked with Alan about doing something, but nothing has come out of it, so it might never happen. Other than that, nah. you know how I got here.
For
You know
sure.
why I'm here.
Yeah.
This was never my plan.
I
So
mean, it
no,
was
I doubt
never
it.
my plan either.
So yeah, no, I'm not someone that does New Year's resolution, but next year is an interesting one because in theory, if everything goes right, I should be graduating next year, which means that I will start trying to move to the US.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you have, I mean, I guess it's kind of too early to tell where you're going to be, but as an
No.
electrical engineer, is there like a hot spot in the United States that's like, hey, if you're
Silicon Valley would be the hotspot, but no, it has always been my plan. For years I've been working towards it. No, my plan is to go to live in the US, and however that happens, it happens. Whether it is in San Francisco, since that is if you want to talk about how it would be San Francisco, San Jose Valley.
sure, yeah.
If it is that, if it is, I don't know, Texas, Chicago, Georgia, Utah, I don't know, North Dakota.
I feel like an
Wherever.
electrical engineer is something that could get a job pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because electrical engineer is a very broad thing. It could be from anywhere between straight up technology, like in Silicon Valley. It could be just with I don't know, power generation.
Sure, yeah.
There are many options. So the one that happens happens.
I gotcha. Well, hey, best of luck.
Wow.
Take
Yeah,
you
such a
with all
wide
that.
variety of tasks.
I know you will offer your house to me to stay there,
I mean,
however
we do
long
have
I
a
want
guest
to.
bedroom that's kind of the cat's room right now. So
I'm fine sleeping with the Gundams.
sleeping with the Gundams. Indeed.
Street sharks tuck you in every night.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. Goals for next year for me. So I think in terms of the review show, I want to have more sword and sorcery stuff on the podcast. Conan the Barbarian, Red Sonja, that kind of thing, because that's a genre that we've not really dived into on that show yet.
True.
We've gotten some fantasy stuff, right? So there, like it, I feel like it's tangentially there. We've gotten there, but not sword and sorcery proper.
I would have to explore further to better differentiate what makes these genres different. But all I'm imagining is that sword and sorcery is fantasy, but just buffer and neuter.
Yes, kind of.
Like everyone in
old,
everyone in Lord of the Rings,
Frank
none of them
Frazetta
are swole. All of them have
artwork.
got all these clothes on.
That's his name, right? I think so. Right.
Yes,
Right. Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like think of Conan the Barbarian and that as a whole genre. Like
Okay.
that's it. Like that's what it would be.
That's also something I've never interacted with firsthand. When I look at some of those, it feels dank to me, and not dank as in cool, dank in the way that like a basement feels, where it's like this is wet and it smells weird. Like when I look at Conan the Barbarian, it makes me think of the old definition of the word dank.
I'll drink to that.
It'll be the dankest thing we cover next year. Our dankest topic yet.
We're about to have some dank podcast in 2023.
Do you have a sword you could bring? I've got a sword.
Melissa, I feel like
We
you
know a
set
guy.
me up for a home run on that one with the story about my dad and the 200 knives. That he bought.
200
Oh,
Ignacio,
right.
heard this?
I cannot remember.
So
sounds familiar.
Long story short, my dad is a sucker for infomercials. One night, when my mom was in the hospital with cancer, he was just there up late watching infomercials and bought a set of like 200 assorted knives. And his thinking was like, hey, I can sell these as like Father's Day gifts or Christmas gifts. Like, you could get this for your dad, and it would be perfect. So he was hoping to make some money on this, right? I can sell all of this stuff.
That's what we call a pyramid scheme.
Basically. But he ended up not making any money off of this stuff. He gave a few away as gifts, tried to sell some in garage sales and stuff like that. He was never really an online guy, so he never really tried like eBay or stuff like that, right? But this assortment of knives was everything from little small like Swiss Army pocket knives to like bigger pocket knives that are more like a utility knife to more tactical knives and hunting knives, all the way up to it came with a 6-foot tall sword. And this sword on the like right on off of the hilt was a skull and cross bones, and the two the two bones closest to the handle came out and were smaller knives that you could like like cleave someone with a sword, take out the smaller knife and stab them, right? Like the most ridiculous like thing you could think. I wish I still had that.
Cal,
I would love to have that.
A person has to be prepared.
Right?
You don't have to be prepared.
The 6-foot tall sword is too much for you, but those little knives, that's perfect for a kid. That's perfect for you to start with.
It's great.
Yeah. For a kid.
Work your way up.
Yeah, sure. Give it to a kid.
Give him knives.
I've heard the story like 3 times, and I love that you always contextualize it as this wasn't just like your dad sitting up one night with a beer. Like he was in the hospital with your mother, and in that mindset, he's like, I need to buy and sell 200 knives.
I find it so funny. It's hilarious.
There's a Simpsons episode I think your father should watch.
A Simpsons episode.
It's literally that. I don't know if it was an infomercial or not, but it is why I said it is a pyramid scheme. It is literally Homer buys a ton of knives with the idea that he can then sell them.
Oh, that's so funny. We have to watch that.
And then he gives it to people so that they can, with also the idea of, hey, you can sell this.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Kyle, do you know if this was just like one thing, like one listing on QVC, or if this was a recurring infomercial the same way as like Pure Moods Volume 1? Can we find the infomercial your father watched?
I
like
don't
this
think
and the
so.
Top Secret album are 2 of our greatest mysteries.
Right, yeah. I don't know. I don't think so. I could try and... Man, I wonder if there's a way you can track down old broadcasts of QVC. I wonder if Internet Archive has them somehow. That'd be interesting to like find. Like,
I'm looking.
Okay, what was the time period my mom was in the hospital? Like, when did you buy this stuff? What year was it? And see if I can go back and find it. That'd be interesting.
90s knife infomercial. Oh, the Ginsu, the Super Chef. These all seem like these are cooking knives and not just like
this was just an assortment of it feels more like a QVC style thing rather than a specific infomercial for like ShamWow or something.
Cutlery
like
Corner Network Money Maker Knife Show. Tom Odell selling a bunch of cheap knives. In the middle, he seems to lose it and just wiggles a knife in front of the camera. I'll see if this contains a 6-foot tall sword.
With a skull and crossbones on the hill.
The audio on this is not good. He sounds like a kazoo.
Good stuff. Anyways,
I'll investigate this later. I'll find it.
We'll get to that down the road. But yeah, that's kind of the goals that I have for the podcast is get more sword and sorcery, continue down the road with the Reactor Corps for crossplay, I don't know. I feel like we have a good groove. I think last year one of my goals was to get more people on the pod, like get more interview stuff on the podcast. And I always just go back and forth on that, of like how I feel about that. I want more guests on the show, but I also want more guests who like understand content creation and like has the equipment, right? And like has the like they have a good camera and a good microphone and like all that stuff. So I don't know the proper way to vet those people and to be like, yes, you would be a good guest on the show here. I think we've had fantastic guests on the show so far. There's still some that I would like to get, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm way too conservative with that. I have no idea.
We need to pick some good example episodes, and then we'll like send them to a prospective guest. Like, can you do this?
Yes.
Like, just like, do you understand the tone? Do you understand the pattern? Does your camera and your audio look and sound about the same?
Though I have to say, even at the start of the pandemic, when everyone was like getting used to like Zoom calls and stuff like that, still not everyone had a great camera. They just had the one like built into their laptop and stuff like that. Because I was even looking to buy like a second like webcam and stuff, which now I'm not even using the first one that I have. I just have my nice one. But I like there's still a lot of people out there who would be fantastic guests who just don't have a good camera, don't have a good microphone, and it's just like, that's cool. Like, we could still have you on, but I feel like it's 2023. You should at least have a decent webcam.
But I think that is such a common thing. The people that are accustomed that whenever a show or even the news or whatever has someone on a video call, it's always someone with a bad camera and a bad microphone, and it still works.
True.
I think everyone's accustomed to it.
That is something I've kind of always prided myself on, and I think this is where I might be stuck, is that I feel like we have a damn good looking show. Like, it looks professional. Everyone at least has a decent webcam. I am using my graphic design degree to some use, finally, right? Like, I feel like regardless of how many people listen to our show, which is barely anyone, I feel like we have a damn good looking show.
Yes. Yeah. That's our strength.
And I think that might be where I get caught up, of just like, I just want it to look so fucking damn good. I don't know, but there you go. That's my goals for next year.
I understand it. Yeah, there have also been people I've thought about doing a guest episode with. For me, it's like, I don't like digital chores. Like, my day job is sending emails and chasing people and sending reminders and sending follow-ups. And did you get that? And I'm just circling back. Do you have any questions? Yeah. And the idea of spending my free time doing that makes me feel distraught. So it's like, I don't want to put this on anybody else, but I don't want to do it myself, to go through the hassle of scheduling somebody.
If you're interested in someone being on the show, let me know. I am more than happy to be that person, especially since I have access to all, like, I haven't given you access to our email or stuff like that. I'm more than happy to do all of that stuff and follow up with people and stuff like that. Which, speaking of, I have something to talk to you about after we're done recording this. We do have a possible guest that we could get in the future that I think would be fun to have on here. So
yeah.
So yeah. Cool.
I think my goals for we talked a little bit about I didn't have goals for Reactor Corps. I just read off what we are like we already think we're gonna do next year, and I'm like, sounds good. Review show. I think we had a good variety this year. There were certain things we pick one priority and it sort of deprioritizes something else. Like the interest in kaiju movies this year meant that we talked about some live action movies from Japan, but we didn't get to any anime, which is I'm not huge into anime. I don't think I've pitched like 2 ever on my own. But so maybe we should do one of those a year. But as always, I really find it rewarding when we talk about international entertainment. And every year, I want to go somewhere new. I think this year due to the kaiju interest, we spent some time in Japan. We went to China with In the Mood for Love. And we went to India with RRR, a very exciting time. In the future, I just want to find new places to go. Like, we've never watched anything from Scandinavia. We've never watched anything that's from like Norway, Finland, Sweden, Iceland, like that sort of area. And I know
don't think we've got much Spanish stuff either. Whether it is like Spain proper or like South American or like Ignacio might be able to recommend us some Chilean shows that are like, hey, what are the good shows that are like in Chile right now? Where can we watch those?
The problem is that the stuff that I would watch is very much things that are made for us. Like you probably wouldn't get anyone to translate well. But if you're interested, we have had movies and shorts and stuff like that be nominated for the Oscars.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So there's stuff out there that you can watch.
Absolutely.
But not anything that I can recommend because I haven't watched those things. That's not my kind of cinema.
It's just looking at foreign movies. I think movies are a good place to start. It might be easier to get something from a variety of countries that's easily accessible, like in movie form more than TV form. Yeah, just go to different parts of the world. Or like the only thing we've ever watched from France was The Forest way back in 2018. Like there's so much more France has to offer.
They have
We've
rich
watched like
history
The Godfather,
in film
right?
And stuff like that. Yeah,
we've never watched anything directly from Italy. We've watched like the Godfather series and an Italian American creation that takes place a lot in Italy. But I'd like to watch like a direct Italian film at some point.
Yeah, that's always fun. I like that a lot, and that they tend to perform very well for us on like YouTube and stuff like that. They always tend to do very, very good numbers compared to everything else, which is cool to see. And like I'm still so surprised when it's just like, man, this is doing numbers. And it's not necessarily numbers in terms of YouTube as a whole, but for us specifically, it's just like, people are actually kind of looking for this content, and it's not out there, which is neat.
Yeah, I think it is something that I am happy happens to us. I'm happy we do have that out there. I just don't know if there's like a lot of crossover. Like if we had an audience member from India who was like, oh, cool, you guys talked about RRR. They're like, I'll wait until you do something else from India. So it's like, all right, we'll get that viewership one more time next year. And I don't know if there's crossover between them. I don't know if somebody who's like watched RRR is also like, cool, you did a K-drama. I don't know. I don't know our audience. I really wish we did know them better.
Well, speaking of that, do you mind if I go into some stats and stuff that
I like
that we
the
do all this
stats.
stuff? So
you alone hold the stats. I don't know anything that I can't get just from looking at our YouTube page.
Yeah, so I always kind of hide the stats, not in a like malicious way of like, Melissa will never know how many YouTube subscribers we have.
Yeah, turns out he owes us a lot of money.
But
he's
like
hiding that from.
I'm always like, I don't want numbers to be a thing that we chase. Right. I just want us to enjoy what we do and what we make. And who cares if only 5 people watch that podcast? As long as we had fun, I think that's what matters. Right.
Yeah.
but each year on our anniversary retrospectives, I like to kind of look at some of these numbers and just see some of the things that is like, huh, this is interesting. Like, look at this number here. So I'll start with YouTube. Currently, we have 586 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. We've gotten 13.
What's the growth from the year?
So from the year, let me go into our analytics page.
Because I still remember when we tried to do the push for 100.
Yes, yeah. So I will say that a majority of our subscribers are thanks to RRR, Triple R from India. We had a YouTube short go viral. And is now by light years, our most watched video. And it's kind of wild, to see the numbers that thing does here. Let me see if I can find subscribers for the year. Let me see. Overview.
I'm going to look up the actual number of views that short had. Because I feel like you should use the term viral only when like the local news knows what it is.
I'll get there in a sec here. I'll get there in a sec.
Will you get to the numbers of how many views they got?
I don't know.
Because wow.
Our short on RRR has 161,000-ish views.
Yeah.
And
the one before it had only 163.
I was going to get there. Yeah. So I don't know how many subscribers we gained this year, but if I'm looking at our videos by view count, and I'll pull this up on screen so you guys can, so all you watching on YouTube can see our most watched video. Yeah, by far, RRR is such a fun movie. #shorts.
Because we get views on the 20s, and then 1899 got 278, and then it's 29, 5, 12, 3.
Right, yeah. So we have that as our most watched. But what's interesting is it's also our most commented on, and our like versus dislike ratio is 97.9 on likes, which I think is wild. And the comments, at least for the most part, have been positive. Like, we made some mistakes in our review of that movie. I think I called it a Bollywood film, which in fact is not. I did not know that. I did not know that there are multiple different names for each like sector of India. And so if you're unsure, it's just good to just say it's an Indian movie. Like, that was new to me, like all that stuff. And then the video that is next in our most watch is the one that used to be our most watched.
Is it Paper Girls?
It's Paprika. Paprika, number 107 of the review show on Twitter, has 23,000 views. Yeah.
On YouTube.
Why?
23,000 views on YouTube. Yeah. I don't know why. It just is. Satoshi Kon is a genius. Paprika is a great movie. Who knows why that one did numbers.
Paper Girls also it jumps.
It does jump up. So then our third most watch is the review show number 210 on Triple R. That has 18,621. After that is Money Heist, the Reactor Corps number 14 with 16,473.
Oh, I didn't know that we had multiple on the thousands.
Yeah, we have a few, yeah. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets at 12,059. Wow. Titan AE, the review show number 63 with 3,032. So yeah, there is a jump from Titan AE to Valerian, which is interesting by the large
people like
chunk.
Space movies.
Besides Triple R is such a fun movie, our next highest performing short is Hank the Squadron with 2,953 views.
That one was fun.
Immediately after that, which is another short from a captain's log that Ignacio, you were on. This was from our trivia night this past year.
Yes.
Silly String is owned by who? With 2,696 views. Yeah. Paddington 1 and 2 has 2,648 views. Baloney or Madam Web is also in the 2000s. What Planet Would Taste Best is also in the 2000s. Lose Myself in the Crank is in 1,914.
Forgot about that one.
That's a great one. What Does Doctor Strange Smell Like? 1,700. One of Riddler's first riddles, 1,400. And then we have our Dimension 404, the review show number 161 at 1,496, followed by Metropolis, the anime, the review show number 66 at 1,300. Trek to Yomi Looks Awesome at 1,200, which I have to say that game was awful. That game was so bad. It looks incredible, but that game was terrible. Pokemon Legends Arceus has you working for the bad guys? Question mark. We have some of that stuff. Thunderbolts using Mysterio's projection tech, 1,100. And that is our last in the 1,000 stuff.
There's one that I want to give a shout out. It isn't on the thousands, but it is 350 views, which is already higher than the normal. Ignacio's busted Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah, right?
Just me showing my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And
us being like, why don't you have covers for these? What are you doing?
It's just Alan suffering.
It is. That was a good one. Yeah. So we have, like, we've had YouTube shorts perform pretty well for us. Unfortunately, from what I understand, is they are now no longer pushing them as hard as they did. So some of our more recent ones have not done as well. They're just kind of normal, which is why I stopped posting on TikTok. So that is something I did this year. I stopped posting on our TikTok because we
also started this year.
We did start this year. But what was interesting to me is that we always capped out at around the exact same number on TikTok, except for one, our short on Thor Love and Thunder. No, Thor Goddess of Thunder. When Melissa, you and I read those comics, the one I did for that did well on TikTok, or at least well for us on TikTok with like 1,000 something views, right? But that was it. That was our highest performing one. The rest of them like maxed out at like 250 views.
Wow.
And that was it. And it was consistent with that, like around 250. That's where it stopped. And so after a bit, I was just like, well, if I'm always just going to get the same thing with this, like, what's the point? Like, I feel like this is artificial. Whereas
I think that you should at least take the top 10 shorts that we had on YouTube and just post them on
put them on there,
TikTok and see what happens.
Yeah, that's not
just
a bad
just see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe something comes out of it.
Some of them are probably already on there.
Jesus.
But that is the thing of like,
but the RRR one isn't there, right?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. But for example, what we would get like 250 on TikTok sometimes would be 12 on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sometimes would be 1,000 on YouTube. So it was just like, I don't like, obviously YouTube is pushing this with their algorithm to certain audiences more so than TikTok is, which was interesting for me to like see those numbers on the back end there.
By the way, do we have an Instagram page?
No.
Yeah, because I wanted to see if you put those shorts on TikTok and I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. How they would do.
I'll mention Instagram stuff in a little bit here, I think, but so those numbers are really, really cool to go look at, and I'll do all of that stuff. Let me look at our podcast analytics. So
we don't have all the coolest numbers.
We
69,
don't have
420.
Hey, there you go. We don't have the full access to the analytics on our Simplecast page, which is the hosting we use for our podcast, because we've been grandfathered in to an older plan, which means we are paying a cheaper price than most people. So overview of our stuff on Simplecast. We have 31,751 all-time downloads. Pretty good. 9 downloads today, 53 in the last week, 269 in the previous 7 days. Somehow we had a big spike on something. I'm not sure. 40 unique listeners in the past 7 days, which is cool. That means 40 new people checked out our podcasts. Who knows how much they listened to these shows, but they at least checked it out. The cool step scene, which was the final episode of the Captain's Log for 2022, was released 3 days ago. Since then, it has 7 downloads. The Glass Onion spoiler reaction and discussion has 8 downloads. Snow Day has 12 downloads. Our Smash on the Pilots Club, which is our Patreon exclusive thing, has 0 downloads, so none of our patrons have listened to it as a podcast. But our Rotten Tomatoes movie prediction has 9 downloads as of 10 days ago.
Okay.
I'm scrolling down here to some interesting stuff here. So our top listening methods, I'll start with this one here. Number 1 is Apple Podcasts at 38.36%. That's how most people listen to our show. Next up is Overcast, which is the podcasting app that I use. They are fantastic. I pay them $10 a year because they are that good. They are incredible. Highly recommend them if you're looking for a good podcasting app. But they are at 12.26%. And then iTunes is the next one after that, which is still strange to me because iTunes, if I'm not mistaken, is now pretty much defunct. They use Apple Music and Apple Podcast. Like they split iTunes up into other things and have kind of abandoned iTunes. So it's interesting that people are still listening to us on iTunes, and 8.6% of our
how many downloads is that?
So in total, I don't know if that is just this year or this month. I'm thinking it's total of all time. That's 2,163 downloads. So who knows? Top episodes according to our podcasting host. Our number one most listened to most downloaded podcast, I think, is the same one from last year. It's number 14 of the Reactor Corps at 2,915 downloads. That's Money Heist.
Yep, still the champ.
And then, of course, at number 2, our very, very first episode as the Whatnauts podcast, still with 427 all-time downloads, at least from when we were on Simplecast, is the Black Tapes podcast. Look, I get it. The Black Tapes podcast is a great podcast. Paul Bay is fantastic. We've had him on the Captain's Log. He's incredible. If you want a guest on your podcast that has incredible stories, get Paul Bay. He is amazing. watch out for him. Follow all of his social media stuff. He's incredible. Episode 1 of the Whatnauts podcast is bad. Do not listen to our first episode of on the Black Tapes podcast. It's bad. It's so bad.
I have gone back and listened to it. I find it endearing. If you are if you really love the Black Tapes podcast and Kyle, listen to it. Those are both things I like. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, we ended up covering the Black Tapes podcast multiple times. So I have to say we have better podcasts on the Black Tapes that cover it in more of a majority, if not in its entirety.
You and I should redo it, because you and I have never covered it together. And it's still
That'd be a great one to do.
Like once or twice a year, I'm hankering for some tapes, and I'll just play me a couple episodes.
Drinking to Forget episode 1 of the Whatnauts. Here we go.
Well, that's where you started 7 years ago. It's 7 years old. It's going to first grade. It's going to learn the names of clouds.
It's in school. That's weird. But let's see. After that, we got Umbrella Academy, the review show, episode 50, 353 downloads. Number 4, The Love Alarm, review show number 144. The K-pop stans came out to go download that one, so thank you all. Black Mirror season 1 of the Whatnauts podcast, that was episode 5. Also, probably not a great episode. 297 downloads. Let's see. DC's New Frontier is not something we've done on any of our new incarnations of the show. The Vision Volume 1 and 2 of the old incarnation of me and Paul, not the one that you and I did, Melissa. Should comics publishers comment on Comicsgate is number 8. But I don't know how we got these numbers. I blame Gino.
Yeah.
Our 6th year anniversary retrospective has 198 downloads as a podcast. I don't know how or why. Who are you people? Why did you not stick with our show? Don't tell us that, actually. But man, I wish that was the numbers we got every single time. That would be so cool.
That's weird.
Yeah. Hopefully next year we can do something that makes it up into our top 10 most downloaded podcasts of all time.
Man, Crossplay never did well.
We had some stuff. We had one of BioShock potentially being on the Switch that did really well on YouTube, I think. It had
I'm gonna go put my dinner leftovers in the fridge while you guys talk about crossplay stuff. I don't want this sitting on my desk lukewarm.
Go for it. We had, let me see if I have it up here. Let me look for so what is our highest performing crossplay episode? Yeah. BioShock and Borderlands on the Switch, crossplay number 19 with 303 views.
19.
Episode 19. Yeah.
Wow.
We did over
not
100.
Even Greg's episode.
Yeah, so Greg's episode. Let's see here if I can find that one. Let me search for Greg Miller. Discussing Resident Evil Village with Greg Miller. Let's see what this one got. Oh, that just brings me to the thing. Why can I not? I want to go to the search page. Got like 100 something views. So it did better than most. Obviously,
yeah, better than most. But not what
Greg Miller, but
yeah, but not what I would have expected because of Greg Miller.
We had a Pokemon episode. Here it is. Discussing Resident Evil with Greg Miller. Crossplay number 71. 194 views. 2 comments. 90.9% on the likes. We got 10 likes, 1 dislike. Someone out there hates Greg Miller.
I doubt.
Interesting. That's weird. That should be a glitch. So I'm looking at our YouTube page according to most viewed, and we have The Drops of God, the review show number 131, which is a manga about drinking wine. with 196 views. Then the next thing it lists is discussing Resident Evil with Greg Miller at 194 views. Then the next thing after that is a conversation with Paul Bay, who I just mentioned, the creator of the Black Tapes. That was the Captain's Log number 141 with 196 views. It should be above Greg Miller, but it's listed below it. That's strange. I don't understand. I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, we don't do numbers. We do 10, 12, 15 on a good day, right? And I'm okay with that. I really don't care. Would I like our numbers to be more? Yes. Because in the long run, that ups our chances of people supporting us on Patreon, right? And stuff like that. But well.
You know what has to be done. You have to do more Indian films.
Yeah, we have to do more Indian films. We have to. I have to not have a stutter. I have to be better at hosting, not do my ums and ers and uhs and.
Nah, but I don't think that's most of the reason.
I don't know.
It's just that we are small and we
are small. I am a no one, right?
Yeah, we are no one, nobody.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, like, despite me, like, every now and then I get to be the like, man, that was me. I have a speech impediment. I know that holds us back from doing bigger numbers. I remember seeing one review on iTunes. We got a 1-star review on iTunes because of my stutter. And well, I take that back. It was not because of my stutter. It was because the person that reviewed us is an ignorant fuck. Let's be honest. They thought that I was doing a bit, that I was doing some kind of like cartoony bit, like some Scooby-Doo, like, well, gosh, I don't know. And it's just like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot if that's what you think. Like, it sucks that we now have this 1-star review. So please go rate and review us on iTunes. Give us 5 stars if you have nice things to say.
I can understand if maybe you've never encountered a stutter in real life, but you listen for like half an hour, you pick up on what it is. Like, you can figure out this is not a bit.
Exactly, it's not a bit. I like that stuff really sucks, and I know that holds us back. But I also never want to let that stop us and stop me, right, from having fun and just making podcasts. And like I said, at the end of the day, I want us to have fun. I want us to enjoy what we do here. And there are good days and bad days. There are some days where I just cannot speak, and I just get stuck on a word and I cannot say what it is. And there are some days where it's not really an issue. I don't know. It's a interesting thing because I also listen to most of my podcasts on like 1.8 speed.
1.8?
Yeah.
That's too many.
And I have to give another round of applause to Overcast, the podcast app that I use, because I genuinely like how the podcast sounds sped up on their app. I've gone to like YouTube to like speed up videos to be like, this is a long video. I don't really want to sit here for an hour and a half and listen to all of this. Let me speed it up, right? And it sounds terrible. It sounds like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and it sounds bad. And something that Overcast does in the app, I'm not sure. I don't know how. It sounds normal. Yes, they are talking faster, but it's not pitched up, if that makes sense. And so, like, that is also the only explanation that I've got for my stutter, is that my brain moves faster than my mouth can move here. So hearing people talk at that speed I'm right there with them. I'm like, yep, I understand it all. Like it's good. Like this seems normal. And I get excited. I talk fast and all that stuff. And I think I should be slowing down and talking more at a pace like this, even when I am excited for something.
NPR.
Right? This is NPR. Welcome to the Whatnauts 7th anniversary retrospective. My name is Kyle Springer, and joining me tonight is Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you tonight?
I'm here to promote my new novel.
Right? And Ignacio Rojas joining us all the way in the field from Chile. Right?
Yes, Kyle. We have a good match over here. It's 17-0. The batter is coming up to the plate, and it's a swing and a miss. Now to you, Kyle.
Cricket.
I was thinking more of baseball. I wanted to go golf. I wanted to go golf, and then when I was thinking about what to say, it just went to baseball.
Yeah, but like that's an interesting thing about me is that like when it's sped up, that seems normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I put it back down to what the normal speed should be, I'm like, oh my God, you guys talk so slow. Hurry up. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, I don't know. I just I enjoy what I do here. I did not think that I would be podcasting for 7 years straight. Mm-hmm. There has only ever been like one other podcaster that I know of that has struggled with a stutter, with a speech impediment. And even then, I don't remember their name. I know it was one of the previous hosts of Spawn on Me with Khalif Adams. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, he was on that show. I happen to have on a Spawn on Me shirt right now.
That's what that stands
SOM,
for.
Spawn on
I
Me.
wear
Yes.
that all the time. I don't know what it means. When I read it, I just think of Son of Man, that one Phil Collins song from the Tarzan soundtrack.
Son of Man.
Sonic on matzo balls.
Motorcycle.
On motorcycle. Right? Yeah. So I'm happy with what we do here. I think despite not having numbers, I enjoy it. I have fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It has truly been a lighthouse. I've talked about it before, how when everything shut down in 2020, this was the one part of my life that was able to stay exactly the same.
Yep.
You know, give me some structure, give me some purpose. I'd like watch videos of, you know, like celebrity table reads or stuff like that. And it's like, I have better equipment at home than Meryl Streep does.
Yes. That like.
So it gives you a little confidence boost that you really need sometimes.
Again, it was kind of a confidence boost, kind of an ego boost too, to see even people like kind of funny, like struggle with like, how do we do a podcast from home? Is that even a thing? And I'm like, I've been right here. I know how to do it. It looks good. We look amazing. And now they know how to do it from home, and it looks incredible and all that stuff. Their studio now looks fucking awesome.
Yeah,
holy shit,
Studios.
Ignacio, their new studio looks so good.
Yeah, it is very amazing.
It's wild.
It's wild how professional they are
I'm
now.
so jealous.
And then it's amazing how professional they can be, and it's still the same garbage truck on fire.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, but how many Street Sharks do they have in their studio?
They don't have
You
Street
have
Shark
them all.
action figures, right?
I don't know.
I even have the one from the like that has the long hair and the guitar that was in the rock band with them. I have that one. It's great.
I don't know.
Awesome
I would
stuff.
have put it past Mike to have a Street Shark in his.
Does Mike even know what Street Sharks are? Does Snowbike Mike know what Street
I'm
Sharks
sure
are?
he does.
Also, shout out to Snowbike Mike. It never worked out for us to get him on Crossplay, but he was legitimately the first one to congratulate us for creating Crossplay. And he was just like, guys, congratulations on your new podcast, all of that stuff. That was fantastic.
Yeah, and speaking to that, I met with Snowbike Mike when I was in San Francisco. We just hang out.
That's awesome.
He offered to buy me a pizza. I refused because I had just eaten one, and then on one podcast, he was talking about that story and made it sound like I just rejected him. But
Fuck
yeah,
you and your pizza, Snowbike Mike.
But yeah, when we talked, he was legitimately happy for us for the podcast.
That's awesome. That's so good. That's so cool. Yeah. Shout out to Snowbike Mike. What a great guy.
Shout out to him. Yeah,
he's a great guy. Well, next up, Melissa, do you want to get into our like review show awards and superlatives and stuff like that?
Yes.
Ignacio, I don't want to like shoo you out of the podcast or anything like that. You're welcome to stay here and hang out with us. We'd love you to be on the show.
Have you ever seen Fringe?
But I'm scared that this might be a little boring for you.
I'm about to leave, but one thing that I wanted to talk to you, Kyle, since I have here.
Yeah,
I started Gundam.
Hell yes,
Mobile Suit Gundam.
Started Gundam.
The original one.
Started
the
it
original
where?
One. The old show.
Okay, so you started the original show. I'm still a big fan of that because that is the one that launched Gundam's most like fleshed out universe. There are other Gundam shows that take place in their own separate timeline and all that good stuff. This is the original. It was created in 1979.
And boy, can you literally see the cells moving.
The animation is not up to par for today's standards.
You can see the animation cells moving.
That being said, what do you think of it?
I'm halfway through it.
Okay.
And at the beginning, when it was just the whole let's escape, I forgot what the name of the thing was, but let's escape and go back to Earth. I was enjoying it, and I enjoyed the first episode because it was very much, I can see what they're doing here, how that connects to now more modern mecha shows, how, I have seen other shows do that. This is what started the whole, hey, everything is going to shit, and there's a mech over there, and I need to do something. I need to step up. Let me get to the robot and do something about it.
Get in the fucking robot, Shinji.
Oh man, speaking of Shinji, Amuro is giving Shinji a run for his money for the biggest. It will sound bad, but the biggest fucking bitch that has ever gotten into a mech. Amuro's giving Shinji a run for his money.
Shinji ends up being a better character. I will say that. Like Shinji's whole thing is that he's a kid. All of this like giant war, robots, aliens, who knows what is just like is messing with him psychologically, and he's just like, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. I think my dad hates me. I'm not old enough to have a girlfriend.
Everyone hates me. I'm gonna leave without telling anyone. I'm not gonna come back. I'm gonna leave again. I'm gonna come back. Right. I'm gonna leave again.
That is like the one note of Shinji. Amuro at least gets over that at some point. So he has his ups and downs for sure. But he is nowhere near as bad as
Oh my god, they want to change
it where it's just like, oh my god, Amuro, get in the robot, you dumbass.
Oh my god, they want someone else to pilot the Gundam. Fuck them, I'm gonna steal the Gundam, and I'm gonna leave.
I'm glad you joined in on that and jumped in. Hopefully you enjoy the ride. So
yeah, I want to finish it, and I'm hoping that there is a Gundam show that gets me as excited as I don't know, an Evangelion or a Code Geass.
There will be, I promise you. But
also, man, is this show repetitive? God, jeez.
Indeed.
But yeah, I wanted you to know, since I know you are a fucking nerd. And you fucking love Gundam so much.
My parents got me a new Gundam model kit for my birthday. I still have yet to build it. It's sitting right over here on the side on the floor. I have to start making that one, but it's one of the hardest ones that I've ever made. So it's like next step up in difficulty.
Your parents buying you a model kit to build a Gundam, your favorite show, and you buying your parents a model kit of whatever their favorite show is. Like, look, you can build your own Kevin Costner from Yellowstone, Mom and Dad. It's your Yellowstone model kit.
Master grade Kevin Costner.
I can picture them at the toy store, them looking for toys, and they know you like Gundam, and then one of the people that work there walk up to them and said, "Oh, so your son? Huh? He has a birthday. How many years is he gonna turn? 10? No. How old are you? Like 20, 30?
You were 32.
Yeah." I think. I don't know.
For a 32-year-old boy. Girl, we talk about guests we want to have on. Know. Honestly, my dream guests are your parents. I want to hear their side of all of these stories.
Oh, God.
Also, I didn't know Gundam was just a model of the mobile suit. It's a mobile suit type Gundam.
Yes, mobile suits are on both sides of the war. Yeah. It just means this humanoid robot, but a Gundam specifically is made out of Gundanium alloy. It started with the Earth forces against the Xeon forces. Yeah. There is a lot of like Oppenheimer, like they're like the Xeon scientists coming to the Earth and all of that. That there's a bunch of that stuff in there. That's really neat.
I wish that the show would get into that. What I'm watching right now.
Yeah, the original does not as much, but as you start to explore, you will start to get some of that stuff in there. It's like, oh, this is interesting. That guy's scientist. He's the one. That's Dr. Minovsky. Oh my God. That's these Minovsky particles. That's how he died? Wild. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So good stuff. I'm a big Gundam nerd. But Ignacio, thank you so much for joining us. It was a blast to have you on. I know you're about to get out of here. Yeah, good surprise indeed. Once again, where can people find you on the internet?
They can find me on Twitter at IgnacioRojasB. That's IGNACIOROJASB.
And there you go. Thank you so much. I hope we see much more of you in 2023. You're always welcome back here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He's like, I don't know if I like Kyle all that much here, but
I don't know about this Kyle fella. Do you want me to send you the? I'm guessing you want the recording, right?
Yes, please. If you can send that to me, that would be great. I appreciate it.
Same place as usual.
Sounds good. Thank you, man.
Okay. See ya. Nice.
Happy holidays.
Bye, Melissa. Bye, Kyle.
Bye.
Happy holidays. See ya.
Bye. Okay. Here we are. Melissa, it's back. You and me. Let's get into our review show, superlatives, awards, all that good stuff. Let's dive right in. Melissa, I will throw it your way.
I'm going to start by reading everything we covered on the review show this year. We kicked off the year with the entire Matrix franchise, including the, at that time, brand new Matrix Resurrections and the Animatrix. We then watched The Power of the Dog, Landscapers,
good movie.
Our first ongoing monthly series, which was just 2 months. We read the entire manga Knights of Sidonia.
Mm-hmm.
We watched In the Mood for Love and The Incredible Jessica James. The only audio drama we got in this year was we listened to season 1 of Brimstone Valley Mall. We read Batman Court of Owls in anticipation of The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Black Swan. We watched the original 1954 Godzilla. We did another sitcom trade where you gave me 3 episodes of Community and I gave you 3 episodes of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
For big episode 200 of the review show, we watched Review with Forrest McNeil. We read the first 2 volumes of the Thor Goddess of Thunder run. Our next ongoing monthly series was Fringe, all 5 seasons of Fringe, the most of anything we've covered to date. Not only is it 5 seasons, each, like the first couple seasons are in that like 22 episode range of like hour-long episodes. So we spent a lot of time there this year.
Of course.
We watched the first 2 Deadpool movies. To celebrate your move to Oklahoma City, we watched Twister.
Which a sequel just got announced to that Twisters. If I'm not mistaken, I forget the guy
just
that's
like
directing
Aliens.
It. Right, yeah.
Just like Aliens.
Twisters.
Oh my gosh. No Bill Paxton around. I'm happy and I'm sad.
Right.
The next thing we covered was the first 2 volumes of East of West. Then we watched season 1 of Our Flag Means Death.
Great
We
show.
read the first 5 volumes of the manga That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Mm-hmm.
I got you to watch the HBO miniseries Angels in America.
Mm-hmm.
Then the oft talked about RRR. We watched the first 2 National Treasure movies. We watched Destroy All Monsters. We read all of the Starfire comics run, which is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We watched The $1 Billion Code, a limited Netflix series. For the episode we recorded live in person for the very first time.
217.
The Muppet Movie, a classic
Yeah.
road trip movie. We then watched The Gray Man, a movie I remember nothing about anymore. Then we watched all of The After Party. For Shame Timber, yours was the Godfather trilogy, and mine was Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
We read the first 2 volumes of the
Did you hear that James Cameron is also about to put out a documentary on if they could have survived on that door? Like he's done the research, all that stuff. He's about to put out a brand new documentary that his decision was right, that they could not have both survived on that door.
I'm with him. I think the door may have been large enough in size, but was too light for the weight of both of them.
Sure,
I
yeah.
understand where you're coming from, Jim. We read first 2 volumes of Once and Future. Then our next and final ongoing monthly series for this year was we read all of Kaiju Max.
Yeah.
For Spooky Month, we watched the Vincent Price movie, The Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Classic.
Then we watched season 1 of Servant. Then we did, I think a couple of these are missing from the YouTube playlist.
Oh no, did I?
Hold on, let me double check my, oh yeah, because it's missing, Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You and Junji Ito's Shiver.
I will go put those in there literally right now while you keep talking. Yeah.
And then it was Abominable Dr. Phibes, season 1 of Servant. A selection of Twilight Zone episodes. Each of us picked 3 Twilight Zone episodes to talk about. Kind of like the structure we do for the sitcom trades.
Right.
And then we watched Megamind. We read the first 2 volumes of the comic Die. We finished Kaiju Max, and then for the holidays, we watched The Muppets Christmas Carol. You were brave enough to return to the world of Muppets.
Yep.
And our final episode of the year, just to celebrate winter, the concept, we watched Snow Day.
Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. We have we did, I think, have a good variety of stuff. We had some ups, we had some downs, we had some lefts and rights, some surprises that I think ended up being like, whoa, this was incredible. I was not expecting it to be that good, or so on and so forth. I think we had a good year.
Yeah. I really did enjoy all the time we spent with Fringe. That was definitely worth the time investment. It was a show I had started when it came out, and I dropped it just because I got busy with college. Same story that happened to a bunch of TV shows around that time.
Yeah.
And I found it so rewarding to see how that thing ended.
Yes. I just updated that playlist. The
Thank
Happy
you.
Death Day and Shiver are now in the playlist. It might be out of order because I added them just now, but they're in there. They are all in there. Yeah, that was also a goal of this year, is that like someone had requested that we keep our like playlist of each podcast on YouTube up to date. And I think, except for those two that I missed, I think that's I
looks
think I did
right.
a good job. I think I hit most of them on there. If I did miss something, let me know. That's fine. I can add that in there.
I'm refreshing it. I see Happy Death Day, but I don't see Shiver.
Give it a sec. It might need another thing, because I definitely did.
Speaking of which, I was in a bookstore the other day and I saw a Junji Ito coloring book.
Yeah.
So all of the haunting imagery we encountered in Shiver is now ours to color.
Yep. You can color that like human relative centipede. Or the heads
girl
that
with
were
holes in her.
balloons.
Yeah. What color do you want these to be? The choice is yours.
God, it's horrifying.
What
Junji
else do
Ito
you
is
wish
so
you
good.
could color?
What else?
I think Kaiju Max is ripe for a coloring book.
You know how on the Captain's Log this past week I asked you if that one thing that you got was the lobster rock, the rock lobster, and it was So my girlfriend ended up getting a different gift for her work holiday party. Instead of the rock lobster, which wouldn't have come on time, she opted for like one of those like adult coloring books here, just like a coloring book on some weird topic. I think originally she showed me one of like, here's a coloring book of like different people's mullets. Or something like that. But she ended up getting one that was People of Walmart, the coloring book. People of Walmart, the kinds of
I remember
people
that
you would see in Walmart. So the amount of coloring books you can get nowadays are so specific, and if it's out there, if you can dream it, you can color it.
You can. I would say that's one of my biggest surprises this year. One of my favorite things was Shiver. I loved Shiver. Even when the stories were extremely gross, I'm like, I am really digging your ingenuity here.
Yeah, that was one of my kind of superlatives that I like to do on the show here is, what was your biggest surprise? Is Shiver like the biggest surprise for you here? We'll start with that one then.
Biggest surprise. I think my biggest surprise overall, it might actually be from elsewhere in our horror month, Servant. Servant was not at all what I thought that show was going to be about.
Sure.
You think it's creepy doll? No. You think it's creepy nanny? Not exactly.
Yeah. Then it's creepy this, and then maybe not. Then it's creepy that, and then like, I don't know. It's creepy
Tony
everything.
Revolori's there?
Yeah, that one was a surprise for sure. Did not make my biggest surprise. No, I think that had the biggest surprises in like whiplash in terms of what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But just biggest surprise, like did not see this coming. I have to give it to Triple R.
Yeah.
Like did not know that our tweet where our video would go viral on that and have like over 100,000 views, right? Like goodness, and that's mostly you talking on that one, Melissa. So think about that. How weird is that? That 100,000 people have seen your face and have seen you talk about that. I find that so weird.
I work in a profession where I talk to a lot of people all over the world. I've got a big international patron base.
Sure, yeah.
And it is wild to think that somebody in Iran somewhere is waiting anxiously for me to email them back over the weekend.
There is a chance
to know that like at work and outside of work, like there's somebody in all sorts of different corners of the world who's like, what's that lady gonna say?
Right? There is a chance that someone has seen that short and is also one of your clients. Isn't that weird?
I do have a film studies journal that I work on. So if somebody's like looking at Western reactions to Indian cinema and submitting a paper, I might have processed their paper.
You never know. You never know. Wild stuff, though. So yeah, that was our biggest surprise of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so what one do you want to do next? I like to do like our favorite episode of the review show. I like to do our least favorite. I don't know if you have that one prepared or not, or just like what
for
one
me,
like
it's like
did
not
vibe
stuff
with
that's
you?
Like there's some things where
Most forgettable.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
never anything I actively didn't like. I just sort of forget it. I don't really remember The Gray Man. I really don't remember East of West.
Okay, interesting.
Which
So
I think that was a very good looking comic. I enjoyed the world building. I enjoyed the style, but it was just so severe. Like I emotionally couldn't find any foothold in it.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do least favorite then. So you also mentioned The Gray Man. That one is one of mine. I have the tie for like least favorite here. Gray Man is up there because yeah, I don't remember anything. Like I couldn't tell you the plot of that. And it is wild to me because it has Chris Evans and oh god, I don't remember his name again.
Ryan himself. Ryan
Gosling. Yeah. It has him, like it has a couple of stars in there.
Yeah.
Like by all means, it should be a good action film. And it's so forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it did not stick with me at all. I don't remember a thing except for that it existed. The one it tied with for me more so was Starfire, just because that's not a comic that I would really read on my own. Like not my vibe.
I really appreciate what a unique story that is. That it is about Starfire from DC Comics' The Teen Titans et al. And she just moves to like Palm Beach, Florida. Like she Key West. She moves to Key West. Right, and it's just about her struggling to fit in and finding a job and like saving people from hurricanes. It's like we classified it as this is the only superhero comic we've ever found that is a beach read. And it's truly singular in that category. I really admire that this is a story that is going for something we have never seen in the field of superhero comics. I don't remember it super well, but I remember the concept of it, and I applaud the concept.
And I like and appreciate a lot of the creators on that. I know in like the last arc of the book, Elsa Chartier comes on the book and does the art. I love her artwork. Her artwork is always fantastic. I like the creators are all pretty fantastic. This is not a book I am interested in the slightest, which is to be fair also why I picked it. It was so out of my comfort zone of just like, I feel like this book is not going to be for me. I feel like it's going to be not my vibe. I won't like it. I remember that era of comics. There's not much good coming out of DC at the time, unfortunately. So here we go. Why not? Let's talk about this because I think that'll be an interesting discussion. I feel like our episode on it was decent. Like, I don't think it's a bad episode of like, oh, don't listen to this. The Black Tapes, episode 1 of the Whatnauts review show. That's embarrassing. Like, don't listen to that. Like, our discussion on it, I think, is totally fine. It's great. It was just not for me. You know?
Yeah. I think even with if we have something that frustrates us, we can still have a pretty good conversation about it.
Absolutely.
Like, we started the year with Knights of Sidonia, which is a series that has some imagery that had stuck with me. But it was something that frustrated us repeatedly with where the story chose to place its focus and the choices it made. And it's like, why aren't we here with this character? Why are we here? Why is this where you're choosing to spend your time?
Or like we did get that one tidbit that the creator had a background in like architectural stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, if you have an architectural background, like we see these like interstitial like chapter, like one page, like here's the
that stuff was cool.
Henry, that stuff was neat, but everything else was so zoomed in on a character's face. Like, why are you not showing the architecture in this? That's you. That's you. That's what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Show off. I do have to say, I did see during and it was recent too. It was within like the past week or two. I saw a picture of another one of that creator's manga. It was a different story, also had a character that was a bear.
Oh my God, the bear lady.
Yeah.
I forgot about the bear lady. That's one of the wildest things, that there's a woman who's just a bear, and it's not until like practically the end of the story that you know why.
It's barely explained. It's barely explained. No pun intended. But like it just you get an explanation, but they gloss over it so much. It's just like, this is wild.
How do we forget about the bear? How do we do? Well, she got written over by other bears this year. We spent 2 more episodes talking about Fozzie. Right.
Cocaine bear. Like, what if Mama Bear did cocaine, right?
I do want to say, looking at the beginning of our year, we did, except for like the monthly ongoing Knights of Sidonia inserted in here, we did 3 episodes in a row that were The Power of the Dog, Landscapers, and In the Mood for Love, which is the most prestigious run we've ever had. It's high class stuff.
I feel like Landscapers, yes, for the 2 main actors that are in that. I don't think Landscapers as a show overall necessarily holds up with the rest of them. I loved that one scene. That has to be one of my favorite scenes in something that we watched this year. That scene when they go from like one set to another, it has that like meta layer, and the actors are like, okay, where do you want me to stand? Do you want me here? Right? Yes. And then they just start that next scene. And it's just like, this is so cool. Good. But yeah, The Power of the Dog was also a really good one. And then what was the third one you mentioned there?
In the Mood for Love.
In the Mood for Love. I am going to transition then into my favorite episode of the year, which was In the Mood for Love.
I'm happy.
That movie is fucking incredible. It's so good. And I'm so glad we watched it this year.
Yes.
Because of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which they pay homage to in that movie, like heavily. And just like immediately when they went into like starting to pay homage to, I was just like, oh, I know this. I recognize this. Oh my God, this is amazing. I feel
we did
cool.
The right homework at the right time.
Yeah. That was great. And I had to say that had like In the Mood for Love. Not only was it cool to see paid homage to in Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's a movie that has stuck with me. Like, it's one that I think about. It's one I go back to of just like, these shots are beautiful. It was so like it has that mix of chaos and story and character, and it just, man, there's something just so freaking special about that movie there. It is now one of my favorite movies of all time. It is that good. It is so good. Favorite episode of the year, In the Mood for Love.
I'm happy that really worked for you. I remember I was baking something while I was watching that movie, and I learned that my oven wasn't calibrated right, so the thing I was trying to cook wasn't cooking right. Like I had to keep going back and check on it. So I was a little distracted when I watched that movie, and I feel like I need to give it another watch.
God, yeah, it's so good.
I really like The Power of the Dog. I got a lot out of that movie. And we watched that at the beginning of the year before the Oscar nominations came out. And when I saw it had like 11 nominations, it got me interested in the rest of the Oscar race as a whole. So watching Power of the Dog got me to watch so many other really interesting movies this year as part of that Oscar race.
Cool, yeah.
And now, like, trying to prepare for next year, it's like, no, I want to see or at least be familiar with a lot of these movies before the nominations are announced. So Power of the Dog, that's the origin point for me now.
Okay.
And being a big Oscars nerd.
That one was your favorite of the year?
It might have been my favorite for things that were new to me. But
that's
sometimes
a real good one. That was also, I feel, could be up there for biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Like, was that ending to that movie is so good.
And sometimes on the show I will talk about, or I'll bring to the table things that I have seen before that I want to revisit. And one of the most rewarding revisits for me was Review. It was a show I had seen before.
Sure.
But now watching it all in the space of a week, I was picking up on so many things I never noticed before when I was just watching it like week to week, or there'd be like a long break between seasons. And I'm like, it's not a plot heavy show. I don't have to rewatch anything. I'll just start it up again. Like watching it in such a concentrated format gave me an all new appreciation.
That's cool.
For how well crafted that show is. That was I'm very happy we returned to that one, and that got to be episode 200.
That's awesome. I just had a recent moment with that with Star Wars Andor. I watched it as it was coming out. That show is fantastic. One of my favorites of this year and of all time. That show is incredible. But I'm rewatching it again right now with my girlfriend. And there was a scene in there where a certain character says something. And having seen the entirety of the show, I'm just like, oh shit, I know what that means now. And it's a reveal that doesn't happen until later on in the show. And I had to like stop myself from reacting to like having to explain it to my partner. I know she's also like listening to us right now. But hi Rachel.
Hi.
Yeah, like I had to like keep my mouth shut and not say or react to like give her a hint that what it's not necessarily an important scene or important line, but just holy shit, the craft of this show is so well put together that just like they said it before you even realized it. And you don't learn it for another like 3 or 4 episodes. And then you're like, now going back, it's just like, this is chef's kiss. This is so good. So good.
Nice.
So,
all right. So we've talked about big surprises, favorites, things that we don't remember very well, which happens every year. I don't think there's ever been anything we've watched in the show that I truly didn't like. It's just things that do not stick with me at all. Like 2 weeks after I encountered it.
Rachel, right now, my girlfriend is in the chat and says in all caps, I never get good hints. She's trying to think now about what scene that could have been.
Man.
Rachel, you have no idea what scene it is. So, good stuff. Continue, Melissa.
Let's, do you want to do dream dates or skin boys or like performances? Let's talk about, what were some of your favorite performances from stuff we watched throughout the year?
Favorite performances, John Noble in Fringe is a spectacular one. You will hear me mention that one multiple times here on out when talking about favorite performances. But John Noble in particular as Walter Bishop what a great character. He's so endearing. He's lovable, likable. He's weird. He's sinister in the right moments.
Yeah.
He's foreboding in the right moments. Just, I mean, if you're familiar with him as an actor, you know he is an incredible actor, right? So it's no surprise that like his performance as this character is really good. But man, yeah, there's something special to me about that character of Walter Bishop.
Yeah,
really good.
Fringe is a show that has a fairly small, tight cast, then expounded upon because it is a multi-dimensional show. So you will see these characters and then you will see an alternate dimension or an alternate timeline of those characters.
Right.
So I guess it's big on characters, but it's small on actors. You just see the same couple actors over and over again. Everyone on that show is so well picked and really embodies that role so thoroughly. And I like to see the different challenges they get as the series goes on. I'd like to introduce a special award. We talk about best performance. Most performance definitely goes to Anna Torv.
Anna Torv, yeah.
Not to say that it isn't the best, but it truly is the most. That is the most acting we've seen anybody do.
I really like Anna Torv as an actor a lot. I feel like it's safe to say I have a crush on her. Like I really like her
that's real crush material.
A lot. If I know she's in something immediately, I'm like, let me watch this. What is this? Which is how I discovered Mind Hunter. As I saw her name attached, and I was like, yes, I am in. Thank you, please. There's something about her because like even when we were discussing Fringe, there's something masculine to her character. There's something like there was that when we do the like 1950s episode, we always see her character 40s, the one drinking whiskey and like doing that. Like, she is the
wearing the big trench coat,
masculine character in that show. There's something butch about her character, but I don't think I would describe Anna Torv as that necessarily. But there's something about her characters because even in Mindhunter, she plays a character that is a lesbian, and like I don't know, there's just something that I find fascinating about her and what she can do on screen that I really like. So, great acting.
Great all around in Fringe. We mentioned Landscapers earlier. I think those two lead performances from Olivia Colman and is it David Thewlis?
Yes, yeah.
He's
I
some
just
of the
saw
tops
him
of the year.
in this Handman too. He's in that too.
Oh,
Netflix.
Excellent.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, I think those are two really, really strong, very effective performances. Of course, everybody in The Power of the Dog got an Oscar nomination. Another Oscar winner we saw this year, Natalie Portman, turning into a bird.
Great stuff. Great stuff indeed.
We haven't seen anybody else turn into a bird as well as she's ever done it. Number one bird.
Yeah. I have to give a shout out to, so this is one of my favorites. It did not make my most favorite of the year, all that stuff, but Our Flag Means Death.
Yes, so fun.
Fucking love that show. I think the performances all around are incredible. The characters end up being a lot more nuanced than you think.
Yes.
I think even down to some of the characters that have very, very minor roles. Like I forget the main character's name.
Stede Bonnet.
Stede Bonnet, his wife. Even in the small bit that we get to see
Claudia
her,
Doherty.
She's fantastic.
Yes,
in that.
Good pull.
But yeah, great performances all around in that. That is also now up there as like one of my favorite shows of all time. I rewatched that a second time with my partner this year. She caught some of it as I was watching it for the podcast, and I was like, babe, you'd love this show. Like, this is up your alley. Like, this it's gay as hell. Like, you would love this. And
it's so sweet. It's a real comfort food watch.
Yeah, we went back and watched it, and I was like, damn, this show is something special. It's good.
Right. It really affects you after you watched it. Like later that day, after I like binged the last couple episodes to finish it, it's like I'm wearing a neckerchief when I leave the house.
Good stuff.
I'm bringing some pirate fashion into my life.
Well, let's do supporting character.
The Skin Boy Memorial Award for supporting players, named after a character from the horror comic Harrow County, where the witch has got this little familiar who's like some little ghost boy, and he's been skinned, and the like slim good body muscle boy goes scampering out into the world and communicates messages back to his just like empty skin sack, who's folded up in the witch's purse. And little skin sack will like reach out and like whisper secrets to her. And we're like, the Skin Boy's one of the best parts of this comic.
We cover the first 2 volumes of Harrow County back in 2019 on episode 80. That was, in 2019. I finally this year made it a point to read that entire comic, and I did. I own all of the volumes. It's on the back of my shelf. There is a spin-off comic that I have not looked into yet, but from what I understand, it is more of an anthology. It's Tales of Harrow County, or Tales of, or Tales of something like that. Yeah. But it's an anthology series set in that town. That book, if you like good horror comics, real like fall creepy vibes, go check out that book. It's incredible. Good stuff there. But yes, Skin Boy Memorial Award for supporting players. Good stuff. Melissa,
for me, I have to. They call her Astro. They call her Aspirin. They call her Obelisk. That's not her name. That's not her name. That's not her name. The Skin Boy Memorial Award for supporting players goes to one of the finest, most supportive supporting players, Astrid Farnsworth.
Melissa, it is
icon,
unanimous.
An angel.
It is unanimous.
Yeah,
that was my pick
agree.
too. That was my Astrid. Astrid is so good in Fringe. She is the epitome of like a supporting character that you love and you want to know more about. You hope they like have good fortune and all sorts of stuff. The small bits of like character from her that we got to see that was outside of the lab, we ate it up. You're like, oh, that one with her dad, the one where she gets to meet her double from the other universe, like all that stuff was just phenomenal. But she was routinely and consistently there for the supporting cast. She looked after them. She was the mom of the bunch. She is, by definition, like the best supporting character you can have, period.
You always wanted more of her when she wasn't on screen. You wanted to know what she was doing. You wanted to check in with her at all times.
Shout out to Jessica Nicole, the actress that plays her. Yeah, fantastic stuff.
So memorable, so endearing. Astrid, I will always. Is Fringe as a whole a comfort food show? I don't know. But if I could watch a master cut of just Astrid scenes, like that's just like pure medicine.
Astrid AMV on YouTube.
I also want to shout out a character who is a pretty minor part of the show where we saw them, but both of us spent a good amount of time in that episode going, what's that guy's deal? What's he on about? What is his life when we're not watching him? And that is producer Grant from Review.
Yeah.
a real enigma. We never really got anything on producer Grant.
He's an enigma. He's an antagonist at some point.
Yes,
he's an instigator at some points. Yeah. Interesting. Good. That's a good callback. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. And then of course we also mentioned the den mother of the bear in
yes.
Yeah, it's God. So good.
I don't remember anybody's name except for Azana, who is, I don't know, like maybe the third lead of the book, but is sidelined so often. It's like she's down there.
Yeah.
That was another character where it's like, I want more Azana all the time.
Yeah.
I want this to be Azana's adventure.
Yeah. Knights of Sidonia, the bear den mother RA. Like, is that what you would call her? Yeah, she's good too. Because I mean, she is the same kind of thing as Astrid, but was just featured less in the book. Like, she is the one looking after these pilots and feeding them and making sure they get to bed on time and they can settle into society and stuff like that. So good stuff. Good stuff there. Melissa, who would you go on a date with? Of all the characters that we saw from the review show this year, who would you want to go on a date with?
I think just as this show has given us an all-time legendary supporting player, it's given me an all-time legendary dreamboat. I'd go on a date with Peter Bishop.
Melissa, it's so unanimous sweet. Again. I think Peter Bishop as well.
Right. Everyone agrees, regardless of your orientation. He's so sweet. He's smart. He's really attentive. He's honest. He's handsome, but he's not like an absolute 10 out of 10 unattainable hunk.
You said he was honest. One of the first things we learn about him is that he is not honest. He is a con artist. He conned his way into degrees from colleges, into businesses, like all of this stuff. The first thing we see is like him making this like oil deal in the Middle East with some like business thing, and it's all like based on that he has this experience and he has none of it, and he's just making it up. He's bullshitting it. But that's what I find fascinating. He has stories. This man will entertain you to no end with all kinds. Yeah, there was this one time we went into the Middle East and I pretended I was some oil baron in the United States or what have you, right?
Yeah.
Those would be fascinating. I would love to just sit there and hear him talk. But we also know that, in a more romantic relationship, he is very honest about how he feels and what he wants. He's not a bad person for being good at lying and being good at like manipulating people, which look, all of that sounds bad. I know, but
right, exactly. He has professionally been a con man. But in his interpersonal relationships, he's really emotionally honest and really upfront, and he confronts things head on. Sure, he didn't know his girlfriend was replaced by a version of her from another universe, but who would imagine such a thing?
And that said, I also feel like he's very observant. He is the kind of person that will surprise you with a gift or a date that is just like, how did you know that this is like I've never told anyone this. How did you know? And he's like, I have my ways. Like, I know how to find this stuff out. And it's just like, God damn, he's good. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, Peter Bishop would be an ideal date for me.
I gotta say that Fringe as a whole has got so many dreamboats in it. Peter, dreamy. Either version of Lincoln Lee, dreamy. Do you remember when you go to the other universe and Faux Livia's dating that guy who's like a bug scientist? For the 2 episodes we see that guy, he seems like very smart and kind and handsome.
Sure.
Like there's just so many. Remember that one episode?
What's the actor that plays him?
Who, the bug guy?
Yeah. Isn't it?
I don't know his name. But there's another episode where she meets up with one of her old FBI partners, and it's Bella's dad from the Twilight movies, another well-recognized hunk. There's just so many hunks in Fringe, and not the type of hunk you expect.
Yeah. And it's really funny too, because even Walter's character has that one woman that did the like MK Ultra experiments with him, the LSD stuff, and she is just absolutely flirting with him nonstop. And it like just like, oh, Walter, you go get her there. Okay.
Yeah.
Walter. We'll leave you two alone to do some experimenting, if you know what I mean, right?
Looking back on Fringe, it's like such an odd show in that it puts all of its energy in this one main romance. You've got Peter and Olivia, and then you kind of also have other Olivias and other Lincoln Lees. And then it's like nobody else. Yeah. Walter gets one episode with a girl he kind of flirts with, but it's like Broyles never gets a love interest. Astrid
he has a wife.
Love interest.
To be fair,
he is getting over a divorce in the main timeline.
Sure, yeah.
But there's never an episode later on where he's flirting with like he has some sort of tension with anybody else at FBI headquarters. There was a show that's really like, we've picked our priorities. We're putting all our energy here. Nobody else is getting any action.
The most flirting that Broyles does is that one with the kid where he's smiling like at the kid. You remember that one? And then all of a sudden he gets a call and has to leave. But it's just like, why is Broyles smiling? Oh my God.
I remember when he got high and he's just staring at a Twizzler and he's like, it spins into infinity. Astrid, I'm scared.
That one's good too. Good too.
I also have to shout out a dream date going back to like when I first saw this movie when I was like 13 or 14 years old. The sidekick from National Treasure, Riley Poole.
Okay. There you go. There you go. What about him is a good date? What would you classify him as?
I thought he was funny. I think now if he was the exact same type of sarcastic 100% of the time, it might get a little tiring. But I'd like to get to know him and like see the other facets of him.
Sure.
Get to know and more levels to his sense of humor. I like that he's just he's got all these surprising skills. Like he knows how to hack into things. And it's like, is that what your background is? How did you get here? Why are you embroiled with this? He seems like a guy who's going to try anything. Yeah, to get to whatever his goal is. And he's just really like in for a penny, in for a pound. He's like, I'm trying anything. I'm Riley. I'm here. I'm game. I'm going to make snarky comments, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not going to sell you out.
Would you like to buy my book? Here it is.
Yeah,
I wrote
I'd
this
buy
book.
his
Yeah.
book. Write your phone number in this book, Riley Poole.
Exactly. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Do you have any other kind of awards, superlatives you want to give out here?
Oh, I don't know. I do want to state, not in the format of any specific award, maybe as one of my surprises.
Shout outs.
I thought that I would look at the Godfather trilogy as like just sort of a cultural checkbox I had to meet. Like, so many people tell me this is one of the best movies of all time. I don't think it's for me, but I guess I have to watch it. I really did enjoy those a lot more than I thought I did. Even the third one. The third one's messy, but it's shot so beautifully. Yeah. I had a much better experience watching Godfather Part 3 or The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, however you choose to label it. I had a much better experience watching it than like anybody would have led me to believe.
Yeah. That makes sense. I want to give a shout out to a kind of thing we did earlier, but most acting that we've done. Shout out to Michael Caine in the Muppets Christmas Carol. Stellar performance, the most acting because he is like the only human on there. The rest are puppets and who knows what kind of green screen CGI. I guess not CGI, but just what kind of magic they had to do to put him in the midst of all of this stuff that is happening around him, and to be the only like human in the midst of that. Good stuff there. So yeah, I think that's kind of it for superlatives that I have and shout outs that I want to make.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone recently about comics I read this year, and Once and Future came up, in which they were like, yeah, what I read from that was fantastic. And I was like, oh my God, I felt so lost. I felt like I needed a PhD in that, but that's not to say it was bad. Like that's just the thing of like, it was so well researched. And I felt like I was so behind on what I needed to know to understand that book. It just seemed like something else. I don't know how to explain it, right?
Right. Yeah, like that's on another level. It is very dense. It asks a lot of your prior knowledge. This is one of my pitch ideas coming up in 2023 is to do a week of what I call the Kieran Gillen Challenge, where we attempt to familiarize ourselves with classic pieces of literature and lore. Like how there's a part in Die that's very dependent on you knowing things about the Brontes.
Which I don't know. Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna try and live up to the Kieran Gillen Challenge and know something about British literature and lore. We're gonna learn from a Bronte or an Austen or an Arthurian.
That's
myth.
not bad. Not a bad idea. So, cool, good stuff. So, I guess final question before we start wrapping things up here. What are some of your most anticipated movies or TV shows of 2023? What's on your list that you're looking forward to?
Guardians Volume 3. Guardians Volume 3.
Yep.
Guardians Volume 3.
And Guardians Volume 3.
Right. Those Mission Impossible. We had so much fun watching the Mission Impossible movies a couple years ago. So now I'm really invested in seeing the new one. We were just talking about not only Barbie and Oppenheimer on their own, but the dichotomy of both of them releasing at the same time.
So
I look forward to seeing what happens with Yellow Jackets and how that show advances and improves. I have to say that while there were a lot of things about that show that I thought were well done, that I found really riveting, it's the one thing that really looked like it was filmed under quarantine, like in all the stuff, like when the 1996 stuff, when the girls were out in the wilderness, I really liked. But some of the like modern day stuff felt kind of hollow or flimsy to me, like when Taisha's running for governor or whatever,
and
but
she
seems to only spend
press
time
conference of like 3 people, right?
It's like, why are you always at home with your wife and son? Like I understand that this is where you want to be, but surely you must have other things you have to be doing for your job, right? Why are you always here? This clearly must be some sort of a filming limitation.
Well, it's interesting. Like to be honest, I feel like that almost works because yes, it was always they always showed us scenes when she was with her family, but the family was always saying the opposite of like, why are you always out on your job? You're never here anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there was stuff in the story I liked, but Yellow Jackets is one of the rare things I've seen recently where I don't recall thinking, wow, what a cool shot. I just really look forward to, after seeing the success that season 1 had, that I hope season 2's got like more resources, more budget. It's going to be operating under fewer COVID limitations. So I really look forward to that being bigger and more dazzling in different ways, like really stepping up its game, like stylistically and like what it can do on camera. I really look forward to that.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that as well. That's on my most anticipated list, Yellow Jackets Season 2. In terms of TV, another one that's on my list, Severance Season 2. Do we know when that's going to be? Is that going to be out in 2023? Because that is up there with my most anticipated.
Oh my god! And
Severance
John
is so
Noble's
good.
going to be in the new
Yes!
season.
It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. That
Man,
show was incredible too.
I forget about Severance because I watched it first, and then like a couple months later, you watched all of it. So we were never like on the same wavelength with that thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, that might be like every week we check in on Severance. We go into the office.
Absolutely, we will be doing more Reactor Corps stuff of Severance season 2 for sure. Most anticipated movies for me, I think. Man, I really want to see how Shazam! Fury of the Gods does, because I liked that one more than I liked a lot of the other DC movies, which a lot of them I didn't really like, but some of their more recent ones have been okay. I feel like the DC movies for next year, I'm anticipating them not because it's like, oh my god, this is going to be the best movie ever. But just like, they seem so much like wild cards to me.
Yes.
This like Shazam and Blue Beetle. I don't really know what to expect for Blue Beetle, and that's why I'm kind of anticipating that one. Like, I really want to know what direction they're taking that. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. I will get caught up on John Wick before John Wick number 4. Yeah. I know that one is going to be right up my alley. So I am anticipating that. Guardians 3, because we know that's going to be kind of the end of an era for the Guardians, right? That's going to be a great one.
Well, this seems like a good year for Marvel stuff. Like Quantumania looks really promising. Guardians Volume 3 has my heart.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot about the Marvels yet, but I think that's an exciting combination of characters. Like, we get to see these things we've been wanting to explore, like Kamala Khan actually meeting Carol Danvers.
Yes.
And whatever Monica's baggage with Carol is specifically. And I really look forward to seeing what Nia DaCosta does as director. She directed that Candyman movie from last year. And I didn't watch it, but I watched like recaps of it and clips from it. And I really dug it stylistically. And I really want to see what she does with playing in the Marvel sandbox. She's also been a guest on Blank Check a couple times, my favorite film podcast. Yeah. So I'm rooting for her. It was nice that I got to be familiar with her in different ways before seeing this big tentpole debut.
And then similar to John Wick 4 for me, Fast 10. There's a large portion of the Fast and the Furious movies that I have not seen. So I am excited to get caught back up with that. I know we said we were going to do those, I think, for our end of the month specials on the review show after we get done.
Then we would be starting it like, so if we're doing the Good Place, like for first 4 months of the year, then we would be starting Fast and the Furious at the end of May after Fast 10 has already come out, which we can do. But I offered you the chance to like move something around, do like a whole month where every week we just watch 2 or 3 of them in order to have that discussed before the movie comes out.
If you just want to switch those, the Good Place and the like, I'm okay with that too. I think that'd make a lot of sense as well. And we just start.
We could do
January, February, and March. Do Fast
3 movies each month,
and then Hobbs and Shaw is optional.
The Hobbs and Shaw optional.
Yeah,
Shaw optional. Okay, so Okay, we're doing this now on the flight. End of January, first 3. The end of February, next 3. End of March, next 3. Then we start Good Place in April.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I am happy with that. I will tell Jack of the news.
Okay, cool. So I'm excited for Fast 10. A big one for me would be Spider-Verse 2. I'm really super excited about that one. That one's going to be great. And then, of course, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is up there for me. That's kind of the ones that are like at the very, very top of my list here. That I'm just like, I need to go watch this.
Yeah, and then there's going to be more stuff that we come to learn about.
Yet. Yeah,
Yeah, like I think that, like Wes Anderson has a new movie that should be coming out soon, but I don't know what it is. Like, yeah, I'm excited for Knock at the Cabin, for seeing what my boy M. Night has been cooking up lately out in the Philadelphia woods.
Yep. I know like season 4 of The Boys is gonna be incredible whenever they do that stuff. Like, yeah, there's some fantastic stuff.
Chugging along. I don't watch The Boys, but it seems like there has been so much boys, and it's not that old.
Yeah, it's not. They've only done 3 seasons, and then they have a couple spin-offs. They have an animated spin-off that premiered this year, which I still have not seen yet. And then they have a live-action spin-off called Gen V, which is a like college-aged, like younger college kids, students, and them also existing in this world here of like gaining powers / being able to take drugs that give you powers and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to all of that stuff too. The Last of Us TV show, one of my favorite video games of all time, starts in January.
Soon.
I'm excited. Yeah. Lots of stuff to look forward to in the new year.
Let's be done. Let's let The Last of Us be the last thing we name. I do have to go to bed and go to work.
I agree. Yeah, we have been podcasting for over 3 hours now. So here you go. Here's our celebration. Here was our party. Here's my last little bit of alcohol in my titty shot glass, which
just a small amount, just an A cup's worth of whiskey.
So here's the thing. The titties, if I'm not mistaken, were the largest titties that you could get on the cup here. So they are quite large boobs. Something that you cannot see on screen here because it's going to be blurry if I hold it up to the camera, but if it's back here when it's in focus, it's going to be too far away. It is wearing a like bikini style thing.
I think I can see that.
However, the nipples are front and center on this thing. They are saying hi and hello. They are the accessory to the outfit. They are the star of the show here.
Those are their names. Hi and hello.
Hi and hello. Yeah. Hi, hello. So I will give my last little bit of alcohol here once again to congratulations to us here at the Whatnauts for 7 years. That's exciting. Congratulations to us here at the Whatnauts. So bam.
Bam.
A little bit of a quarter shot with that one.
All right, that's it. That's the night. I've been Melissa. You heard me say earlier where I may be found and what other things you can listen to me on. So go do those things.
Indeed. That being said, if you guys want to find me, I am at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter, co-host, and Hive. If you'd like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts at Twitter, co-host, and Hive as well. Please go like, share, and subscribe. We got a few more videos over here if you are on the YouTube version of that. But this has been 7 years of the Whatnauts. We will see you next year in 2023 for year 8.
Bye.
Bye.